Greetings all.
Delicious.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Session 8, Episode 8 of the Numenera Jade Colossus campaign here at Material Components. And the first session in like 2-3 episodes that the party is reunited at long last after their split journey.
Oh my god, it's been like 2 weeks since I've seen you guys.
Oh, hey Taylor. Good to see you.
So, we have exciting news for the stream. We are going to be having a Sunday game for the next few weeks in collaboration with Chronicles of the Future Earth, a wonderful, exquisite game by the warrior wizard woman Sarah Newton at Mindjammer Press, which we are also stoked to be a part of. Their Kickstarter campaign that they're running right now, and they are blowing away their stretch goals and whatnot. So we're going to be running a couple 4-session long quick start adventure on Sundays following that rule set, which is a modified Fate Core, and it is far future, similar to Numenera, but it is more of like a retro 70s, like crazy magic.
High fantasy,
as opposed to Numenera having kind of a horror element of like everything is ineffable and we don't understand anything and we're struggling like Jack Vance style to rebuild the dying earth. This is more of a, wizards and demons possessed in swords and, wonderfulness. There's one of the pre-generated characters is a mantis man.
Oh my god.
Who has followed the mystical warrior path of the sixfold ways.
I saw that, and you know my heart.
Whoever gets that is not allowed to speak like in anything but like.
I have a feeling of someone who will jump for it, so I'm holding back.
I will fight you.
I have 2 ideas of people who will jump for it.
One Cypress, thank you for subscription.
Hey, sweet.
With
Thank
the
you.
prime, the prime plan. Thank you much for the subscribe.
Welcome to Walmart. I love you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Have you all seen Idiocracy? Incidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic.
Remember the rule.
Oh.
That's
All
what
right.
I say with have you seen?
No.
Yeah. Any sentence that's right. Unless it's really relevant. I don't know.
It's good. It was a near future documentary we're living it currently.
Yeah.
Because you're wondering.
Great news.
Except for their president's
Wow.
better than our president.
Oh.
And he's a wrestler.
So, we are presently following the group has just finished a split journey that you can see upon this map here that is on the screen. And those who are seated at the table can take a look at the map behind them. But the previous week we followed the red line of Patsy Bobert, and Prisma didn't end up joining them, but there was a question mark there. The Prisma clone, as they went south and west through Shalamas, the city of echoes, and witnessed some strange tellings of their past played back in the strange phenomenon of echoes that happen in Shalamas, where kind of holographic images of moments in the past replay themselves unbeknownst to not following any particular rules that anyone understands. So there were some convenient visions.
It just struck me that all of the events that transpired in the last session could ostensibly be echoed in the future. That's so embarrassing for Patsy.
Oh, that is bad news for Patsy. Yes.
Bobert's fine. Bobert's Patsy, fine. Poor guy.
Yes. Things did not go super well for
They did not go as
Patsy and
planned.
Bobert.
Let's say it that way.
Who they attempted. So Patsy killed the Kabbalist of Hunger, who was the one who tried to spring the trap on Orion back
previously
in Ballarad, with all the broken hounds and the carnivorous color and whatnot in the theater.
What episode was that again?
For those listening,
5?
Five, maybe 5.
This is 8.
I want to be like a comic book where it's like
7
refer back to
is-
Yeah,
7.
refer back to.
It should be 5.
5.
Yeah.
It should be 5 in which that all occurred. So Patsy killed the Kabbalist of Hunger and stole his mask. And so when they went to Shalamas, which was where the Kabbalist of Hunger's boss, who had sent him to catch Orion, and also Orion's former boss when he was a member of the Cabal of Whispers, was headquartered there. And so Patsy and Bobert Patsy wore his own mask, and Bobert wore the mask of the Kabbalist of Hunger, and they went into the equivalent of a mob-run restaurant in order to meet up with the Kabbalist of Desire, the former boss.
Yeah.
Don, what is his name? Don
Vendori.
Kappa Vendori.
How did
I
it
keep
feel
forgetting
to
his
put that
real
mask on?
name.
Did it feel right?
No, Bobert was very opposed to it, and it took some excellent convincing on Patsy's behalf to get him to put it on.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that didn't go super well.
It did not, which was not a surprise to me as Bobert's player. Bobert pretty much told Patsy that it wasn't going to go very well because he's terrible at lying.
You're like, outside a game, I have an inability in lying and deception.
Inside of game, outside of Bobert is
Yeah, but it was
self-aware of his
fun.
problems. It was brilliant fun, and the dice wanted it to go the way that it
The
did.
dice were brutal. There were 2 or 3 not 1.
failures.
How was the gravity well in that session?
It was an 18.
It was decent.
a very core 18.
Yeah.
That apparently
Well, I
wanted to
think
teach
Qualhern,
Patsy.
the NPC, actually soaked
Yes.
up all of the gravity well because I didn't roll under like a 15
Was
or something.
Nice.
I was just playing
Delight.
this silly NPC.
The horse, the sentient thing inside of all the horses. I was like, Josh can just
Nice.
jump in as Qualhern.
That was the best. Yeah, in an exciting turn of events, the entity Qualhorn ended up possessing the clone of Orion.
Yes, there was a clone of Orion that the Kabbalist of
Half
Desire
of that with him.
had created because he was like,
Well, then the clone of oh god.
Of
Yeah.
Prisma and the
I
Crown
keep
of
wanting to call him
Orion
Chroma.
should get together.
Link it up.
Yeah,
It would have
yeah.
been perfectly
Problem
fine.
solved.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
And it's the same
Are
guy
you
who made both the
serious?
clones, so he has that technology, but yeah, he really liked having Orion. He thought he was the best bodyguard he had ever had. And so
Damn straight.
he was crushed when he betrayed him, but he kept
Don't feel bad for him.
a sample of his DNA and
I'm like
recreated
in awe of
him.
how great Orion is. How great and terrible.
Yeah, terrifying.
So
Yeah.
tender.
So the Kabbalist of Desire saw through the mask, so to speak, and sicked his robotic dogs upon the group, and they struggled and fought back and did decent enough in that they didn't die, though they were very close.
Very, very close. And then
It was a bloodbath.
the Kabbalist of Desire escaped. We had an epic chase scene finally that ended with.
Cabbage was strewn about the streets.
cabbage!
Yes.
I'm sure many jokes are made.
Yep. We had some fire going off in the chat of cabbage destruction.
He ultimately escaped into the city.
And
Yeah.
Bobber rode the lightning for the first time.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god!
To try to stop him, but I just did not persuade hard enough and was also 3 points from death. So
Yeah, and that great moment where you caught up to him, and you seemed like you could totally throw down with him, and he was like, "I've hit my alert." Like he's sent out a
People are
ping
coming.
to all the other people who are members of the Kabbalist in the city, and he's like, "They're all coming to me, and they're going to kill you." And since Bobert was at a very beat up condition, Bobert decided.
Where was Patsy in this again?
Patsy was stumbling
Patsy
out to the
rolled
carriage, rallying forward
Horribly
and trying
on the
to
chase
come
rolls.
come after us.
Oh,
He was pretty beat up too.
Okay. When you said stumbling, I was like, you telling me you were, like, drunk the
Narratively
whole time?
stumbling,
Okay.
mechanically horrible rolls on the chase.
Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah,
But speaking of
Drugged
horrible
it.
rolls,
fumbling and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Should we get
let
this
us not.
started?
Ah, yes.
that's a 6.
The great rolling of the
Pass that
gravity
on.
well.
I'm gonna roll this over here where there's no cameras. Oh, it's a 20, guys! Oh!
That's
Oh, God.
a 9.
That's a
in
9.
fact.
Okay.
Pass! Pass no go.
We're getting down to the wire.
In case you're wondering what the gravity well is,
14.
check out the chat golem has explained it
And I
all.
don't think I'm gonna try to beat a 14.
I think we might. Yeah.
A bird shall be put upon it.
So
You have to get the
14
closest
for
without doing
Bodrov.
it. Oh my
That's
god,
alright.
there is so many.
And so a bird has been put upon it.
The official chant of the bird placement.
There's great
it's
magic
different
in
every
gravity
time,
well.
but it's always some
It's
Gregorian.
one continuous song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tune in every week to collect the new 30 seconds
Yeah.
of the put a bird on
Yeah.
the
Piece them
song.
together, it'll form a complete song.
It's like it's starting to turn into like the Halo theme song.
Yeah. Lovely. Probably was inspired by that intentionally.
I'd rather do like the chant from like Final Fantasy X, like the Dreams of the Faith, whatever it is. Does anybody remember that?
No.
It's all
I
you.
remember that game.
It's like
I don't remember that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I want this to be the soundtrack of walking
Excellent.
into Bodrov.
there can
This
be more.
epic terrain
We'll stop
fits
it
with
there.
that.
Well, next time the gravity well
Bravo.
happens, we'll just go with that instead.
Yeah, we'll be like, hit
I'll have a soundboard
Taylor.
later.
Hit it.
We'll have a clip.
Hit it, Tay!
So as you were leaving Shalamas, because it seemed
Oh, I
Quite
believe
urgent.
that carriage was on its way to the gate. Lauren was high hoof booking it.
yes, I'm kind of driving Patsy for a moment in time, with Daniel's permission, maybe.
I'm sure he'd be fine.
No, there's a pivotal vision that he must see before leaving
Oh,
of an
dear.
echo. So you guys stopped in the outskirts of the city. He insisted that he needed to.
Diva, gosh.
He needed one last look at something particular, and stopped in this kind of nondescript neighborhood, much like the rest of Shalamas, where there was merchants all over the place. And he wanders up to a building and was just looking at it, and then wandered to the alley alongside the building and looked down it, and seemed totally lost in thought. Meanwhile, every
Bob's
sound that
probably
you're
like
hearing,
coughing up blood in the carriage.
He's like,
and after a certain time, you're like, we need to get going.
Yeah, I
so
would
you
not
step
be
out,
nosy about it though.
and you step to the
I
alley.
might even say Qualhorn, could you get him?
Qualhorn is having issues like wrangling control of the horses again, so they keep like doing kind of weird
Oh dear.
weird things, and they're getting like out of sync. They're in their galloping and whatnot.
having trouble building consensus.
So,
Yeah.
So I have to go get Patsy is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of narrating this, right? But you step out and start to approach him, and you see down the alley he's watching an echo taking place, and there are several figures gathered, and they're all wearing Kabbalist masks.
I was like, should I even be seeing this?
Bobert every time sees
Seems kind
things
of
that are
private.
not for Robert's eyes.
See, it cannot be unseen. And at the end of the alley, in kind of a dead end, there's a slumped figure, and all of these kind of bulky thugs with Kabbalist masks are hurling wine bottles at this figure, and so they're crashing against the walls, and the figure is crawling amongst all this broken glass, and Patsy is kind of just watching it,
Do I recognize the masks?
horrified.
Do I recognize any masks?
You do recognize first the Kabbalist of Desire, and then Orion's mask. Oh wait, maybe you haven't seen Orion's mask, actually.
I think you have.
I have.
Yeah,
He
okay.
put it on to fight before
Yeah.
as an intimidation factor.
Yeah.
Who's crawling away? Do I recognize
That is unknown to you. Yeah.
How about the label on the wine bottle?
Yeah, that's the real
That's
question.
the critical factor.
I feel like the fact that I'm asking means that I know in my heart what it is.
I can't remember the epic name.
Tulame Dunes.
That's it.
Tulame Dunes.
I'm glad you guys remember it. I wrote it down somewhere.
Got you.
In my notes. This is my note-taking method, which works great sometimes, but yeah. So you guys hurry up and skedaddle out of the city
Yeah.
after that point, because it seems like there's a lot of commotion in the streets, and every single sound that you hear could spell your doom in some
We are
paranoid.
not ready for doom. We are ready for a 10-hour nap in the carriage.
Yes.
Let's bring that on.
10-hour nap occurs in the carriage as you traverse westward towards Bodrov.
I'm sure you guys are like, I'm so tired of fake Orion. I miss the real one.
We didn't even really get to. Well, Patsy and Fake Orion had a pretty intense, very emotional for me, and probably Bobert also moment. But
So you never need
I
to
didn't.
clarify that a moment was highly emotional for you.
Yeah, that's just assumed.
and honestly, I would say same for Bobert. So that whole sentence was useless.
like character, like player.
Some integral qualities always will shine through, no matter what you do.
Yes.
Orion is at full hit points for the first time since maybe, I don't know, the second session or something.
I need some dice. I'm not prepared.
I took like a beating in a couple fights and did not roll particularly well, and then I've just been trying and trying to heal.
Unhealing that,
I'm
yeah.
at a 6.
I think that there are enough days of travel that you guys should be well. I don't want to get out a ruler necessarily. Yeah, we'll just say you guys are.
Do you a little bit want to get out of it?
I don't want to bother with the mechanics of it. You guys are healed through the narrative joy of of story.
Plot.
Yeah, and plot. You guys are patching one another up in the wagon, and you're stretching out all your muscles and whatnot, and applying salves. Semi-erotically, yeah, I don't know.
Just like the first time we got the
We
heal
all
the first
awkwardly
time.
stood around and tried to heal each other.
Yeah, I think I need some fan art of you guys applying salves to one another, and
Please comment.
Qualhern like looking on with curious intent with 6 horse heads.
Ask and thou shalt receive. It's the
Yes.
season.
I mean,
Oh boy.
I don't know about anybody else, but Bobber and Patsy are a pretty high ship for me. Yeah.
Boy.
Gallows styles forever, I'll fight you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I also going back to that fateful moment when we were still in the Jade Colossus and Bobert rolled poorly to pass through those like temporal rifts, and you guys acted out the way that Patsy came up behind him and stopped him from touching one.
Oh,
Careful.
Yeah.
That has been.
That was a good opening moment.
That was
Yeah.
pretty beautiful.
What's our ship name for Bobert and Patsy?
Ride the
Ride the Power.
Ride the Power.
Yes, Ride the Power.
Oh, you guys have
That's a strong
names for
one.
all of them?
Yes,
Oh,
of course.
wow.
We do our homework.
Well, make sure to get this up on the Discord.
You got it coming
The
up.
ship channel.
Just
We'll have a-
wait for the break.
Speaking of Discord, guys, check out our Discord.
Excellent segue.
Yeah. There's a link, and you can see all kinds of behind-the-scenes content as we're posting overlays and terrain. You get to see terrain spoilers
It's
and
just what?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Decadent in terrains.
Oh, thank you.
Those
Yes.
are crazy features I would think only patrons would get access to.
I know, right? But we give it all for free.
You are so generous to our viewers.
Oh, thanks. We try very hard. We create quality content. for those quality fans. Yeah. You guys arrive around the same time. Do you guys want to unite outside of Bodrov?
I don't know. How
You
were
weren't really
you guys
planning on-
arriving? Yeah, we weren't even planning on arriving in Bodrov. So
You guys
I
were
feel
to
like
meet-
we wouldn't. That something serendipitous is going to happen.
I like to think the other group just like all of a sudden slip inside slide style, just like whoa, like comes down like I don't know something.
Well, there's only one path to get up to the top of Bodrov, right? So like everybody has to take that one path no matter what. So it seems reasonable that if we just happen to both be going there, that one group stopping along the path for a while and the other group can come up behind them and have no idea.
Well, so it makes the most sense that the group with Qualhern arrives first, because they're riding in a carriage, as opposed to the other group where they're riding on.
Anines.
So recall,
Yeah,
crosswords
Anines.
are great narrative places to introduce devilish characters.
Oh.
Just saying.
Don't give the game master ideas.
No, I'm ready for it.
Oh my god.
So we'll have a few moments where Bobert. Well, this is
That's
kind
when
of
you
weird
guys are
because
applying
Patsy's
spells.
not here. So, in any case,
Patsy's
just-
taking a grumpy nap.
yeah, he's been real introverted and what's the word I'm looking
Bobert
for?
and Qualhern
Introspective?
Introspective, yeah, and
Isolating.
Withdrawn.
yeah, melancholy,
Contemplative.
withdrawn, all the
Yeah,
above,
and
yeah.
contemplative.
Melancholy is a good
I feel like you have
Collie.
some word in mind, and we
Moody.
just did like the thesaurus list,
Yeah,
but we
that's so
didn't
not
hit on
the
the
word that
actual
you-
word.
You circumnavigated it though.
Sophie and I's special power.
Circumnavigating
Do you want
words.
17
Vocabulary
words for that one word that you actually wanted?
It's called
I
being a
propose
language
trade.
major.
So, yeah, we'll say that you guys arrive, and as you're unloading the carriage of Qualhern. So you know this well. This is the place that you have lived much of your life. Or your recent
just
memory.
Standing tears in Bobert's eyes
Ooh.
at the sights of Bodrov.
I do have an image of this is not a canonical image of Bodrov, but this is one I found on the internet that someone used for a campaign that I find to be lovely. So the city of Bodrov is kind of this upside down cone, and as you're approaching it, you're seeing that it is lilting and swaying, and there's debris falling off the one edge of it,
Is this,
tumbling hundreds of feet
is this a
to the ground.
normal occurrence?
This is
a little bit
occasionally a
unusual.
normal occurrence.
It would be
in-
like a tornado in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Occasionally a normal occurrence.
But it doesn't seem like anything is causing it. The weather is pretty still, and it's just like slightly lilting, and you're hearing kind of the groan of the stone and kind of weird synth metals that are holding it up. But yeah, Bodrov, as a city, you have to go up these crazy tunnels in order to get to the actual city, up the stalk of
Secret
it.
tunnels, one might say.
Yes, secret tunnels. And many of them are not in areas, they're like mountain passes, right? They're not wide enough for an actual carriage to go up. So what Bobert has served as a role for many years is, or the last, did we decide 2 years or
I
so?
think it was like between 4 and 2,
Yeah.
depending on the session.
Served as various roles, but a tunnel warden. We have pictures.
Oh, I was getting a closer view.
The picture. Yeah.
Ooh, this has ships.
A tunnel warden, right? So, anyone who's trying to get to Bodrov has to go through these tunnels, and caravans cannot fit through the tunnels. So, there's oftentimes this kind of teamster crew that unload caravans and wagons and load them into these, like, mine carts that the city of Bodrov has painstakingly created and woven through these tunnels. of Bodrov in order to actually get goods up to the city.
I imagine they're like roadies. They just like pack up all the stuff.
Or even I was race car
Oh yeah.
way stations where they like
That seems too efficient. I don't imagine that.
Oh, Bobert had great numbers.
Had great numbers.
The best.
Yeah, Bobert
Yours was a pit crew.
regular who fights a steamlocomotive, John Henry.
Oh yeah.
Some of the other roles that this team of people serve is that much like guards, they actually escort these carts up to the city because there are dangers lurking in the tunnels that they try not to mention.
But I would know what the
But you would know, yes. You would know that it's never really been seen by any of your fellow friends, but the evidence of it has, in the form of people from your crew or merchants who have effectively been dissolved.
Fantastic. It's like a legendary monster. It's like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster.
Yes, and it's never been seen. Those who have actually claimed to see it have described it as a strange, blurry piece of pink meat. And so it's been this kind of like,
It's so fun.
we don't even know what to think of this, and so it has the rumored name of the Pink Death.
Oh gosh, that's so fabulous and terrible.
It's a giant worm thing.
I suppose, is Qualhorn leaving our employ? Did we pay Qualhorn? Or was Qualhorn just like, yeah.
No, I thought we didn't we
that
wish
was
for
part
one?
of the role. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I guess Qualhorn has done more than
Yeah.
Qualhorn's job.
Yeah, you probably should pay Qualhern.
Did we pay up front? I think we paid up.
Yeah,
I
think you paid up front.
But we paid mostly for like a getaway carriage to the boat.
Yeah, that's true.
But you guys gave him a show on the way
I feel
back,
like
so,
some
come
Midnight
on.
Stone is getting left in
You
the
did-
carriage.
Oh,
for
that's
Qualhorn.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a emotional moment for Bobert saying goodbye to Qualhorn, who honestly came through for us.
They can stick around, you know, and just graze in the pastures. Oftentimes that's what they do out of Bodrov, is like they let the animals just kind of graze and someone stays with the... I'm just making this up as I go, but...
They're literally like, so, to clarify, they're not like a collective... I mean, I know they're collective consciousness, but they're not like made up of like thousands of little tiny things, right? It's like 6 or 7 horses that all just share a consciousness, right?
Yeah. Well, it's technically actually horses.
I was gonna say, could we
Because
like
when
take a little
Qualhorn
piece of them,
left-
put them in like somebody's front pocket, and maybe just like
No.
No.
Well, actually,
He's like a psionic being. Like, he doesn't exist in the material realm, but he can possess material people.
Yeah.
So they have taken control of this pack of horses, but have also taken control of like individual people. It's easier to control like a group of animals or whatever.
I was just thinking in terms of like if we wanted some sort of like communication with them, like a calling card. Maybe he teaches you like a specific.
Oh yes, you just
A whistle, yeah.
It should be like an epic 5-page Lord of the Rings style song you have to sing.
like the Swedish
Tom
calling
Bombadil,
thing.
Tom
Hold up.
So as you're approaching the city, there's a merchant. You know, there's some bustle of some other merchant caravan that's coming from the west to do some trade that are like unloading. And the Teamster crew is unloading them, and there's a merchant who's leaving in kind of a huff, and he's who you encounter first because as you're approaching, he's leaving along the same road, and he just looks furious. He's just like cursing under his breath, and as you approach, he's like, "Don't bother going in there. You're gonna get yourself devoured."
Oh. How's that exactly?
That bloody Pink Death ate my whole crew, and now I'm stuck by myself.
That's unfortunate.
Sure as hell is.
Sounds like you could use a new crew.
And I ain't got the funds.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Not until I sell all this
Well, as it turns out, I'm in need of a couple shins, and this isn't my first time up the tunnels. So
Oh, he's leaving.
if he wants to, he didn't make it up, right? Because it killed his crew. Or did they kill it on the
They
way
got
down?
killed on the way down. Sorry, I wasn't clear about that. Yeah.
He's here for plot. He's not here to employ you.
I need money.
I gotta pay this weird horse I got.
It's
If only someone conveniently happened to have some shins.
yeah, no, like we're getting to the
I'll
like
hold on now.
we're gonna be doing street acts and arm wrestling contests at this point. Or I'm just using Patsy's funds while Patsy's in a mood.
Street fight. You could street fight. There happens to be a world martial arts tournament. No, right over there.
Or you continue.
I feel like there's nothing I can do for this man.
Yeah. Nothing. I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Hook him up with Bobert.
aw. Yeah, does he have any resources with him? Like, is he walking off on foot?
No, he has a small cart.
He can't have Qualorn. He's not worthy.
Okay.
Qualorn could take over his body and come up with it.
I like the whole thing.
Bobert was going to offer to Qualorn that if he had never seen Bodrov before, he could ride in Bobert up to the top and then take over someone else's body. But I felt like that was unnecessarily complicated.
This is like just the most hilariously interesting NPC. That's
Just love
the most
Qualorn.
interesting carriage that's ever been hired in a game that I've run. But yeah.
Yeah, what size crew did he? How many people did he lose?
Just 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're working light there, trying to make it down with 2.
We gotta bring some red shirts, idiot.
Yeah. Next time, get him some red shirts.
Well, okay, you know what's coming. Bobert would ask his name.
Davian.
Davian, yes! And where's Davian from? Where's he headed? What did he sell?
Davian, like what? Like Nivea, Flatigan?
Davian Flatigan. He is selling he's selling various salted fish from the Sea Kingdom of Gan.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Wait,
Which is
where
where
are
you
we
guys are
headed?
headed.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
where we're headed.
Oh, excellent. Well, it's good that we know Davian.
He's heading east though.
This guy
I said he was leaving.
No! Everything that I want is the opposite with
Sorry.
him.
Hold up,
Beyond Davian.
Where is this on the map again?
Bodrov is right to the right there.
So that's where these. Where is the other crew? Where did we go this way?
No, we
Is he
can't-
headed to Shout?
You guys went
Almost?
along
Do not recommend.
a little bit up north. You guys went along that river, the Tithe River, yeah,
Oh.
and then you cut down to Bodrov. So you guys.
Oh, so
are,
we're almost there.
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. As you
God, we took the long way. Never mind.
yeah.
Well, we had to get off the ship like earlier than we thought we would.
Cash made a miscalculation when he said, "Let's get a boat."
I don't think so.
I think he was hoping there would be a montage and we would just be there 3 sessions ago.
Yeah. Sorry, it was just a 1 session long montage.
Davian, gosh, I don't know how to help him.
Yeah, he just whips his horse and moves forward his Anine. That's his pack animal pulling this thing.
What a rough start to the day.
He just looks like in a wretched mood anyway, so he's not feeling one to talk.
Just killed your vibe.
Yeah, I've got, like, eternally depressed Patsy, saying goodbye to Qualorn, angry merchants. Yeah, well, let's go unpack the carriage and get ready to go up. It's just
You arrive and at the base of Bodrov, and as you're approaching, first one of the Teamsters recognizes you and says, Well, I'd be damned if it isn't Bobert.
Well, be damned twice it is.
And then
Party, the secret crew high five
Yes.
coming in strong. We just like grip each other's arms.
at the name of Bobert being spoken
Armstrong
aloud,
style.
half of them, they're all like in the process of moving like crates and kegs and whatnot off this thing, and some of them just drop what they're carrying, and they all turn and look, and they're like, Bobert! And they're just like cheering, like, Bobert has returned!
Bobert is hi to every individual person, asking after significant people in their lives,
One of them
what projects that they had going on when he left.
One of them fishes out some shins and purchases a cask of ale from the merchant who's heading up there, and then they just like
Yes.
they just bust out like the cups that they
Keg
keep on there,
stands.
yeah.
Yes!
Keg stands for Bobert.
And so a joyous reunion with your old
mood
teamster
reversed.
mates.
Yes.
It's out for Bobert.
And while you're drinking and reminiscing over each, you're connecting with these are just like nameless people at the moment, but there will be named people. But as you're reconnecting with what everyone's been doing for the last few months as you've been on this adventure to Ballarat, you see some figures tromping completely off the road through the fields to the north, riding on Anines.
Does one of them have an unmistakable halo of hair?
Yes. You recognize the hair first, indeed. Yes, it is. And they're traveling with a few other figures that you don't recognize.
In epic, I think blue and white robes.
Yeah, and some
boy.
flowing blue and white robes. And the one who the others seem to hang off of is actually seated cross-legged on his mount and is perpetually just...
Yeah.
I can't... Somebody give me the laugh, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Well, Bobert would politely be like, stop. Whoever, if someone was talking to him in the moment, he would just like raise a hand for like, give me a second, stand up, start walking in that direction, then start running in that direction. Oh, friend. Joe!
Bobert?
What are you doing high up on your Hyanine like that? I didn't expect to see you.
Right, can we get to the point where we're dismounting? Okay.
Jump on down. Bobert will raise his arms to you.
Oh, wonderful.
The remnants of bruises and cuts all over Bobert.
Yeah, not looking great.
The the lacerations of a metal like robotic dog jaw that ripped into arms, and yeah, Orion looks pretty.
No, I think I look fine.
Or you guys didn't really get into
fight.
much of a scuffle, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks to Kitty in a hoodie and that deactivator.
Yeah, you guys avoided the.
Yeah.
Cash, Orion?
Bobert, good to see you. And it's the Arnold moment of like the flex.
It's less about the handshake and more about how ripped you guys look as you're shaking.
CIA got you pushing too many pencils.
Claves. Yeah, and I imagine like rattlesnake noise, and we just like lock eyes.
Yes.
There's lightning between it. See, you done well. Took care of the crew. Can't say you're gonna be disappointed when you see Patsy. I'm no substitute for you, Orion. He's high maintenance.
Well, you look like hell, Bobert.
I feel
That's any indication.
pretty much like that too, but I'm sure you knew what we were walking into in Shalamas. We'll catch you up in a second. Why don't you all come and sit down and have a drink? I'm just reuniting with some of my good friends who used to work alongside. I'll introduce you. Get you settled in.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Alright, I'm fine like fast forwarding through like sit down and we explain each other's stories to each other and then we resume at a moment where we're like, so you did plot summary?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, you guys hang and have drinks in this little makeshift tavern that has kind of opened up as you're using the keg as a small table, and you're all kind of seated cross-legged or kind of kneeling around this and having drinks. The Teamsters have left you guys cups. And are kind of under the impression of like, well, we should probably get back to work, and so because the merchant was starting to get irritated and was like, I need to get in there by sundown, you know. So they unloaded everything, and those horses, those anine or whatever animals that were pulling that, have dispersed, and there was some kind of herder that is kind of taking care of them as the merchant goes up topside to Bodrov. And so it's starting to be dusk, and by the time you guys are all caught up, and it's just a lovely buzzing of insects in the air, the whirl of nanite-infused winds, and the eerie creaking of Bodrov leaning.
And are we still in the tunnels, or are we up?
You guys are at the base of, like, you're still
at the base outside.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Where is the Midnight Stone?
Yeah, it's there.
I was going to specify. I was like, all this fast forwarding is good, but priority for Joe would be making sure that we, like, honestly, probably kind of hanging out with the Gaians, who I feel like we could
right
situationally leave kind of guarding the, just hanging out, but secretly what they're doing is guarding our hall.
Did you have a
That's why I need to
like build rapport with them, or did you have like a history with that group? I couldn't remember.
Joe doesn't recognize them, but is Kala, is that the name of the leader?
Yeah, introduces himself as Krala Thakur. I am Krala Thakur.
And remind me again, I don't have the note currently, but...
And speaking of which, so Krala knew Joe's name and said things like, "It's so good to see you again." Joe has no memory of Krala or any guys.
Okay.
But the first night we spent with the Gaians, the Philithus came back and told Joe that they were going the wrong way and that there was still work for them to do in the Jade Colossus.
Okay.
The Philithus was that creepy, like, picture frame.
Which I think, yes, but you have the note card because
I've memorized it at this point.
Yeah.
Because I keep looking back to be like, when is it going to come back?
Yeah, it did come back.
Where's the payoff?
Philly.
And I don't know what kind of terms Joe left on with the Philithus. It was kind of like to a point where Joe straight up asked, "Are you threatening me?" And it just kept being like, "Go back to the Jade Colossus." And it was more or less saying, if you don't
like
help us the way we're asking you to, then you will become our enemy.
I feel like plot is going to end up having us. We're going to make it all the way to like gone, and then there's going to be some Deus Ex Machina to hopefully get us back over there without like 5 sessions to do so.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how
the way back is not important. That's why there's eagles and whatnot that you ride on.
Yeah. But we're not. Did Gandalf ride on eagles? Or was it just the
Multiple
hobbits?
times.
Yeah.
He did, didn't he?
That's how he gets from the Balrog
Gandalf and
incident
Gortier were
to
That's
Lorien.
right. That's right. Okay, I couldn't remember because he's kind of a tall dude.
But the big question is, why didn't they fly Frodo, right, to Mordor?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's for a different day.
They could have probably flown. I don't know.
Yeah, my argument is because it wouldn't have been a good story.
There you go.
Right.
That's all you need.
That's your meta.
And also
But
one of
it's a
those
great
video
wrap
games
up.
was like, the War in the North, they're like, the Eagles were doing all this stuff in the North, and that's why they couldn't help. And I was just like, clever play. Whatever video game company. In any case, sidetrack.
Spoiler alert, we're all
Spoiler.
huge nerds.
Yep. In case you didn't notice. They're Krala Thakur will wait with the pack. Does not feel comfortable with the idea. Tunnels are not to my liking.
Does Joe tell everybody about
This Amadeus's like middle name.
the return vision? Did she tell? Excuse me. Did they tell
Yeah.
Cash and Orion?
No.
Orion was definitely out cold.
Yeah. I don't know what to
Lively?
do about Cash.
I guess
Hold up. I can
Heard
read stuff.
and intentionally did
mean,
not
you guys-
listen in.
I know some
As
stuff. I
part
don't
of-
know everything.
you would have because of the mind link.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
We got
yes,
that-
okay.
we have that
so
Vulcan
right
Rhino.
now,
That's
here
how
we
I know
go.
in the
This
first
is
place.
easy. So right now, now that the party's reunited, Cash, you get mental impressions that Joe is debating whether or not to tell Bobert something that's weighing on their mind, which is largely that they feel like they're in over their head. And they usually operate solo, so they're kind of trying to see how things go, but they're on the verge of needing to break down and bring the whole party into this issue.
I feel like I would be so oblivious that I would just assume that like
That's just like-
the thing that you're really like worried about telling Bobert is that like you're gonna confess.
I feel like your mental or telepathic link is like the stock exchange numbers going through. Like your brain just gets so much data all the time, transferring through it. You're like,
It's
yeah,
hard to,
whatever.
like, pick it up.
There's the Joe story that might come up.
I'm sitting here thinking of like 2018 memes.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, that reminds me of blank, and everyone's like, I don't get that.
In the meantime, I
What are
feel
you
like
talking about?
I mean, I'm sorry to Patsy if Patsy had strong feelings about not revealing this, but Bobert would definitely tell Orion that a clone had been made of him in the same way that a clone had been made of Prisma, and that it yet walks, as does Kappa Vendori, and that we probably can't go back to Shalomos without a small army.
Orion
Because we're in
spits
trouble.
when you say that and is just seething over it. His hatred for clones and Vendori's games is very obvious.
It reached a new level.
Yeah. First Prisma and now this.
You know.
What next? Bobert?
You guys are hearing
Probably.
Please
the
fulfill my dream of just like a room of Boberts.
Do you suppose they could hang me
All
for
in
killing
myself
myself?
banana hammock.
That is a fascinating philosophical question, man.
Yeah, they could try. Die trying too.
I guess the question remains to be seen if we can even hang the original, right?
It's yet to be seen.
We'll find another way to kill you, I'm sure.
Wait, how do we even know that we have the original? Did you just ask that, right?
Oh, that's tricky.
How do we know we got the original
We need to
Orion?
put an X on the back of Orion's hand.
We know because
You see what I mean?
Well,
Is he the
Clone
clone?
nonsense didn't start
this
until
didn't start until
after the
this was to replace the OG or the OO.
The new Orion doesn't
How do you
have
know
any of
there's only-
the scars from being hung.
Okay.
The new one was like pasty.
Yeah,
Okay.
They
Clone
always
Orion came
don't-
about because Cabalist's desire was sad.
sack.
He no longer had.
But how many clones has there
Sad
been?
is not
And maybe,
the right
maybe,
word.
Maybe,
guys.
Pathetic.
He needed
I'm
his.
just saying, what if he made an
Yeah.
exact copy, one that was perfect, and he too didn't like, his master.
I feel like what we've seen from the clones is that Vendori might not be quite there to perfect replication.
Unless he's so there that he decided to pull back and made one that was loyal to him, and that's the one who's
That was specifically stated that this Orion had been
he's version 2.0.
edited,
Yeah.
so that he wouldn't rebel.
Yeah.
Subservient.
It was like, this is a better one because it won't betray me.
And of
There is
course,
sadness that they've made with that.
I still think that
Hurt, at least hurt.
You guys are hearing the sound of the clanking cart moving through the tunnels. It's starting to get a little bit louder as if somebody's
Yeah.
leaving the city and going down, but it's like early dusk.
it's like we're hearing the ambient sounds of like it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
do we need to go into Bodrov?
Well, let's at least hang out. Like, what is this bar's name? Is it like the last word or something?
What's the what name?
The last word or something? Like, what's the name?
What are you asking?
Like, what's the name of this bar that we're at?
It's not really.
Oh, you guys are just hanging
Is it
out
just an
outside of the
outpost?
city. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a barrel of ale that was busted open that you guys have been just sharing stories
Yeah, we're just
around.
camping
Oh, got
right
it.
now outside of the stock.
I would say we should probably. Okay. Why are we here again?
This was
Why are we in Bodrov? This is our meeting place?
It was, no.
Okay.
It wasn't the
It
planned
wasn't
meeting place, but it
intended.
ended
You
up
just happen to
being
be here.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other than? Is there anything that Bobert needs? You don't have to say, but can you think of any reason why you would want to go up the tunnels and possibly even challenge the Pink Death, perhaps even to get back at some people who thought you were crazy because they thought the Pink Death wasn't real at the time, but now it's becoming a real problem and you're here saving
Wow,
the day.
this is becoming very specific.
It's usually good to stop at any city that you're
Yeah, I was
traveling
gonna
through in order
say,
to just rest
like
and
we've
restock.
probably used up all of our healing supplies.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm saying yes.
I think
it'd be fun.
Orion and Joe and Cash probably don't have a whole lot of their supplies because they had to get off the ship in a hurry and like hurl the battery overboard. So we probably need to stock up.
We haven't showered. in
Is
days.
there so is the only way to get up it is obviously through the tunnels. Are there any ways to get down it like glider style, or do we have to come back down through the tunnels? Or like maybe like a
You
giant
could lower down on a really long rope, perhaps, but
Yikes.
most people go through the tunnels.
I'm thinking logistically, like we got a giant heavy moonstone thing, and do we want to stash it somewhere, or do we want to take it with us? And,
Like take it all the way up and
Yeah.
all the way back down. Well, I don't know if there's carts or something like that. We can get it in a cart. Like supplies are taken up this thing all the time, so
and it's
I don't
still
feel like
intact,
that's a
right?
particular.
We haven't.
Yeah.
There's been no major damage to
If
it.
we trust the NPCs, I think the Gaians are saying they're not going in the tunnels. So
They also don't trust the stone at all.
that's true.
They don't really
What
like
about
being near it.
what about Bobert's old crew? Are they?
I mean, they'll
are
be
we,
working.
So are they gonna come? Can we possibly get them to come with us?
Ask Qualhood.
Can we throw them a?
Can we leave
Can they throw us a
Patsy
deal?
with it?
Like for old time's sake? Or we could all be deputized as like workers and just happen to like work our way up.
Can we just,
That's how I'm
What's the
sitting
matter,
here-
Cash? You afraid of some caves?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, sure smells.
As I'm like over here going, let's do it! Come on, guys!
Right.
And like, I try to like go to do the whole like arm thing too.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
have to like jump off to do it. Let's do it, guys!
It's not the
Like
You
hanging
hear-
off of Orion's arm.
You hear echoing through the tunnel a terrible blood-curdling
Oh,
scream.
that might be the pink terror.
And then you hear
I'm not afraid of some pink terror.
the sound of and the person just someone screaming and the sound of like all this scuffling.
Yes, you got a soundboard. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a good feeling from that. Let's do it. Sounds good. Sounds great.
Bobert likes your spirit, Cash.
I'm tanned. I'm well rested. I'm ready to give people some wedgies. Particularly one giant phallic death.
If we need to haul the Midnight Stone up there, then we haul it up there.
Let's haul ass.
I'm in.
are there lockers?
Yeah, like Disney World.
I'm just having flashbacks.
Bobert has his own house.
It's true.
Where? Up in
Or an apartment, probably.
Up in
I think an
Bodrov?
apartment would be more
I
fitting.
think so. I could almost imagine it being like
Oh.
a spare room behind like someone's shop or something like that.
Can
they
it
rent
please
out.
be? Can it please be the flat that the main chick rents in Flashdance?
Yes, it can absolutely be that. Exactly that.
Cash would be like ecstatic to go meet where like Bobert like has lived for I don't know.
It's
In an
probably
indeterminate
not
amount
in
of
great
time.
shape. And it could have got rented out under me. I don't know. I thought I had a pretty good relationship with my landlord.
No.
Are you guys going in?
Yeah.
I'm like seeing dollar
And I think
signs
we're gonna
with real
take
estate.
this
I'm like, we gotta go, man.
Is
Which is
there
not
is there
worth-
something we could acquire to help us transport it more easily?
Yeah, these cards.
card.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
sure.
like the equivalent of those cards in a hotel lobby, right? Where you're just like, you can just
Oh, that's it.
use one of these.
Wonderful.
Please tell me it's a little weirder where it has like robot legs on it, like.
Yeah. Well, they're like mine. I'm just saying, like,
Are they
figuratively, they're like that, where you can just rent them out, right? Or they're just at the base. But they're actually, we'll say that they're like kind of railroad ties, but some kind of weird like magnetic monorail thing going on.
Maglev!
They're like floating like right above this.
Excellent.
So you load this stuff up and they don't move at all, and they just float along, and they're super light as they move. But yeah, part of the job of being, a tunnel warden is fixing these things, because this pink death is the thing that has maybe created these tunnels. And it constantly is destroying these rails. It's constantly destroying machinery, and there's some because this structure was built like in a previous age, right? So there's some kind of there's some kind of wiring that goes throughout the place. How we had talked about that you had gotten shocked by, right? That the tunnel wardens go and repair when this pink death has destroyed the wiring. Because the wiring is tied to some kind of gyroscopic device at the center that keeps this whole thing balanced properly. And so at times when it's out of control and they haven't fixed all the wiring, then the city can start to lean like this, right?
Cash is reminded of your accident that caused you to get bitten by radioactive electrical cables, and immediately wants to like try to recreate it.
Did it happen exactly like that, Cash? I don't honestly remember. Yeah, I don't. If it hasn't been said before, Bobert would explain to you guys. He would just come out. Factors have revealed themselves that make it seem useless to keep this under wraps any longer. I would explain, like, I don't remember anything beyond the past 4 to 2 years. Whatever we decide. How about 3? That's in between.
Yeah, that sounds good. 3 years.
You also can't remember how long it's been.
That it has been coming back in flashes. For example, when we saw it, that member of the Jade Protectorate who reminded Bobert, he would explain that he saw an echo of himself in Shalamas riding a dragon.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't know why I cut my hair. It looked really great. I'm thinking
It
I'll
was
grow it out
so
again.
glorious. It was long, flowing.
So something happened to you in the Jade Colossus?
Do you remember in the heat of combat, so maybe not, when the Syzygy ghoul finally got a little piece of me, and the secret they spoke back to me was the prodigal son returns. It didn't make a lot of sense at the time, but I'm guessing that some answers are back in the Jade Colossus for me. Until then, I'll just have to deal with my identity crisis and kind of work through this.
I just imagine like a farmer just like kicking up, just a real like down to earth, salt to the earth guy. Just like, it's gonna deal with this identity crisis. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, getting beat to death back in Shalamas was pretty therapeutic.
Oh, wow, what an optimistic thing to say.
Guess I know what you mean.
I like put a hand on Bobert, like, are you okay? Do you need help?
No.
You need somebody to talk to?
Luckily, I think I've got some help.
Yo,
There he is! Pat.
Hello, everyone.
Patsy has arrived.
And everyone on the stream, hello.
Welcome home, Pat.
I'm ready.
we might learn more about your past up there. Although I suppose that's when your memory is from. Is your time in Bodrov?
That's right, and they're all mighty good ones. Bodrov's a sweet city, and will take good care of you.
I'm cautiously optimistic as I hear the creaking and groaning.
yeah, it's really backing up my words right here. But we gotta get past the pink death first, so let's keep frosty and our eyes on the caves and pay attention, everyone.
All right.
Oh, what?
I'll have to catch Daniel up on his echo vision.
It's almost. I mean, it's 7:40. I don't know if a break, if it's a good time to do that, and then catch him up, or up to you how we do that.
Back to life. Well,
Back to life.
I think
how I feel.
I might. Are you ready to?
I'm ready.
All right. So here's
I'm ready. I've been practicing in the car.
this might. Yeah.
Not joking.
Well, okay, but maybe we should move forward a little bit, and then I'll introduce what your vision was, so that we can. Because otherwise, I think we might get stuck without moving forward. All right. So you guys traverse into the. Needless to say that you're feeling a little strange because you witnessed something that is kind of haunting you that we'll talk about in a second.
What I remember, and I'm happy to roll something for recollection of the. I'm sure there's like handy printouts of like 7 steps to not get killed by the pink death.
Oh, yeah.
Workers' safety.
I'm sure there's another
in this area,
acronym.
all tunnel guards must wear.
Oh, I could ask Google.
It's been 6 days since the last death.
I think we just.
That's fine.
It's been
That's
0
fine.
minutes since.
Yeah, there's a guy that's going over like wiping off the like space chalk and like.
Well, there goes another one.
0.
Yeah, you know the signs of like it uses some kind of acid to create the holes in the tunnel that it moves through, and so you are able to notice when like a fresh hole has been created, but like people don't really ever see it, right? So even if a hole opens, it's like everybody. If a hole starts opening, people just scatter and run away. So more often than not, it's not even seen. None of your crew has seen it and lived to tell of it. It's just been like random people who are passing through who saw it and described it as this weird pink meat thing, right? In any case, you travel for a time up these mine carts.
Is it skin smooth when you say meat?
You'll have to see to find out, perhaps. Perhaps.
Is it textured? Does it have scales? Go ahead.
So you guys, you travel up the up the mine shaft, so to speak, for a time, and then you come to a point where you reach the other cart that was on its way down, that was laywayed, and a bunch of your crew is loading some things back onto the cart that had all been knocked off of it, and the one who sees the group of you approaching and looks down and is like, "Is that Bobert?" Bobert! And then they're all like, "Bobert!" And they drop whatever they were doing.
Rinse and repeat.
They run and they hug, and the merchant who had hired them to move this cart is like, What in the bleeding hells are you doing? Is shouting, but they're not paying any attention.
Yes.
And so you guys carouse for a long moment, and they're just they're just all stoked because they had heard tell that you had arrived.
Bobert was back.
In passing, right? In passing
Every
the other
time
crew.
I meet more of your friends, I'm like, oh my god! And like just have sparks going everywhere, or whatever you call them, stars.
But then there's a moment where you hear this echoing, kind of deafening sound of a whip cracking, and they all stand up straight, and you actually in a Pavlovian fashion do too.
Absolutely.
But also like a kind of bit aroused as well.
How did you know?
As you know who belongs to that whip, it is Foreman Lash, who you once had a fling with.
Foreman Lash!
Are you straight?
Bobert is
Bobert?
everything.
Okay.
Bobert is all
I feel like
He's
it.
too passionate to be
Yeah, Bobert.
tied down by these
binary.
It's the ninth world, man.
It's the ninth world. Get with it.
We lost the finite in
It's the
like
ninth world.
the fifth world.
It's a billion years in the
Yeah.
future. I mean, we've gotten over that
We
kind
have
of
figured
stuff.
this out.
Well, I apologize to everyone that this was very cisgendered of me to just assume that it would be a female, but.
Yeah, I
would
mean-
you rather it be a male?
Energy.
We could take a vote.
Vote! Yes! Vote!
Oh,
Does it have
vote.
to be human? Can it be an energy being or a rock person?
Damn.
Fantastic.
I really want it to be like.
Yeah, you're going
rock
all the
person.
way.
Seriously, why not?
Silicon-based life.
Yeah.
Bobert is everything.
He rode the lightning. You rode his mountain.
Oh god.
Keeps trying to get the camera set up for anyone. Not
Look
yet.
at
Not yet.
this shenanigan that
Yeah.
you have put together, Joshua.
Yeah.
What if it was? What if it was like gaseous
That's so
space? So it was
incredible.
like thunder and lightning when you guys got together. Oh yes!
Everybody in the chat vote. What gender is Foreman Lash? You can do exclamation point vote 0 for female, 1 for
Thank
male.
you, Dr. Noir. I am
Or
with
2
you
for other.
100%.
Should I have been more specific than other?
No.
No, other is good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Because in the ninth world,
Oh, whoops! I probably shouldn't have
Oh,
my freaking.
you have to do exclamation point vote and then the number.
Oh! Hold on.
Yeah.
There. Did I do it right?
No, exclamation point, then the word vote, then a space,
Oh!
and then a 2.
God. Then a space. in
Wow,
it.
so much Bobert character crafting is going on in
There,
the full.
we got it. There it is.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes!
All right.
That's 2.
Yeah, come on.
Yes,
Bringing up the rear.
Just in time!
Finally.
Just in time!
Geosexual.
no idea what I'm Yes.
Well, you voted correct.
Yup. Oh, burn. Burn. Coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Welcome!
Yes.
That's too soon.
Well, I think with 3 votes, and 1 coming in from Lawander, other is
Excellent. Yeah.
is our
Yes.
Foreman Lash's gender is Foreman Lash. And don't you forget it.
other one with
I
with
feel like that was
4
a
plus votes.
flashback.
That was.
So Foreman Lash. Oh, now I need to figure out. We just voted on.
So what do we?
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't
You
think
missed
this
out.
happened in
If you missed the
Brexit.
vote. Yes, Foreman Lash, who is Bobert's an old fling from Bodrov. What gender is Foreman Lash? And we decided on other.
Can Lash be binary in the sense of like Qualhorn is multi? Multi consciousness.
I don't know if I follow.
God.
Would that
I was
be-
saying like,
I'm going
could
with,
be,
that-
could be one of the same like beings that
That
is
would
multi.
be like a form of gender fluidity, right?
I think Foreman Lash is much like Ursula K. Le
Yes.
Guin's classic Left Hand of Darkness,
Dating.
in which they are genderless for 90% of the time, but for several days out of every month, based on the need of the biology of the people around them, a gender is determined
Established.
without any choice on their part. It is entirely a hormonal.
Thank you, Ursula.
Yes. Oh,
It's fantastic.
praise.
She's the best.
Shout out to Ursula K. Le Guin's
Yes.
memory.
Yes. R.I.P.
Whipping it.
Can we get some like really
Excellent. Yeah. Void effigy with the table.
What is the need today?
All right. I'm gonna. Well, let's just see what. Do I have a D4? I don't think I did that up. I could do a D6 though.
Wait, I have a D4 in person.
Yeah. Roll a D4, Hannah. Let's do that with Void effigy's table to see what gender he, she, they are
They.
at this moment in time.
Zer Skler?
Where should I?
Yeah,
Right in that
Lash
pool.
would totally
Right in that pool.
like make.
It's a 2.
A 2 is a female.
Oh, we're back to square one.
But I think that it was important that we took this.
But
break.
it,
I
it's
agree
not
completely.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yes.
Now we know how to handle this in the future.
Then I also have to play a sexy female, which is entertaining, right?
Yes.
You could have whatever voice you want, man. You could be like Frankenfurter.
Just go for it.
Oh, fantastic.
So the sound of the whip, everyone stiffens, they all get back to work, and she's like, "What are you all doing, you idiots? Someone just died here and you're dicking around!"
Phrasing, Foreman.
Oh, and she just
Archer.
heard Bobert's voice after years.
She heard his voice, and she's got like a shaved head and very like aquiline androgynous features. Yes. And has this big this whip. This whip that's made of some kind of synthetic material that, like the Silk Steel Dancer in the Heroes Guild RPG, is sometimes a sword and is sometimes a piece of silk and whatnot. So she rolls it up and makes it back into a sash, and stares at you for a long moment with anime sparkles in her eyes. And she says, "Bobert, I heard tell that you had returned."
Well, you can confirm it for yourself now. I know you like to.
With this OPG-13 guy.
Yes.
Orion actually gives that look to Joe.
Yeah.
I didn't agree to that. Let's go for it.
She goes in for the muscular
let's do
muscular
it.
handshake, but then like pulls you close and like bites like the lobe of your ear.
Bodrov!
Yeah.
Oh, Foreman. It's been a second. How have you been?
Back to the
Boom.
Miserable. This is out of control. The Pink Death is eating people. It's destroying the tunnels. The whole city's poised to collapse.
More so than usual?
Yeah. In fact,
Any theories?
I have some bad news for you.
I got a lot of bad news. Go on, pile it on.
Your close friend. You have like two besties,
Yes.
right? In Bodrov. Kid Taurus,
No.
who is super. Think like your like StarCraft adept kind
Yes.
of archetypal person, right?
Yes.
The super intellectual, like introverted kind of space cadet character. They're a prodigy nano in as far as electrical components are concerned, and kind of leads the whole team of like the electronics repair throughout Bodrov, and is a close confidant of you. Kid Taurus has been taken, and I suspect dead by the Pink Death.
Hit the cave wall.
And what's not worse, but also of bad note, your other close friend, Narlyen Fesh, is
Oh, who could forget?
Narlyen Fesh, and it's important that you say both names. Okay, guys, it's
Narlyen
important.
Fesh.
You'll see why. But Narlyen Fesh is utterly beside itself and cannot be found either.
Well,
Like, just basically is maybe lost in the city or is maybe lost in the tunnels. But
because they're friends with the
you guys were like the inseparable
Okay.
triangle, yeah. And
triad has been broken.
Narlyen Fesh is a Lattimore. If someone grabs
Oh, is that the two-headed thing?
A core book.
a choral book, yeah.
There's also one over there, Hannah,
Oh,
under the
easier.
monitor. Yeah.
An image for the audience of a Lattimore is a playable species in Numenera.
I've read about that.
That's
That
that thing
is,
that's like a centaur thing. Is that right? Or am I thinking of the wrong?
Kind of. It's for D&D players. It's basically a bugbear, right? So they're like kind of an ape-like creature that is almost not intelligent. They like have barely managed to figure out tools. They just use them to beat each other up with mostly, and they're like endemic warfare in small family units and whatnot. But sometimes this other creature called a neem, which looks much like a stingray, will latch onto their back, and the two create a symbiotic relationship that the Neem is hyper intelligent, and the Bursk, the kind of bugbear creature, is very savage, and the two create this symbiotic relationship where they become one being, and they kind of share the benefits of one another. And any creature that is this symbiotic relationship will shift between states based on which is kind of driving at the time. So you have witnessed times when it was in Bursk state, and it was just like it was just freaking out and going crazy. And then you've also witnessed times when it was in Neem state, when it was deeply contemplative and could not be shaken from thoughts.
Well, if I had to hear this, I'm sure glad it was me for me. Give me a moment.
Got quite a crew with you here. What's going on with all this?
Need to have a word.
Hi, I'm Cash.
I use the data sphere.
Yeah, I'm like, that is canon that happens. Cash just like inserts himself in between us.
You want to see something from the data sphere?
Yes. Yes. Sometimes I drool a lot.
Yep, this is Cash.
Look what I can do. Has anybody seen Matt TV? Oh my god.
There's Joe, and
Where are we right now?
You guys are in some
the
tunnels leading up to Bodrov.
Are
do you
there
have a
like
picture of?
Oh, I'll show you.
are there like
Yeah.
people that were along the way to get down here?
We're in the middle of
Excellent.
the stock thing.
Well,
we're trying to go
still
across
like at the
city up
bottom,
here.
right?
Oh, did y'all just arrive here?
We're in the caves at this
Yeah.
point, I think.
Yeah, Daniel, this is Bodrov, and you guys are traveling up these tunnels along
Yeah, we're
this
in-
dock to get to the city that's at the top.
Yeah, we'll just say that in the middle of you doing these introductions, you hear suddenly your companion pushing his way past people and telling them to get out of his way because he's going to meet his companions. And you smell the briefest hint of cigar smoke. Move out of the way! I gotta get by here!
Yeah, Bobert would kind of stall out for introductions of Orion and Patsy since their names are becoming increasingly, like, our reputations are getting increasingly dangerous.
Becoming a liability at this point.
Yeah.
So I come stumbling through.
Still above the ground, I see.
Sorry, I had to take a moment.
All right, you want?
Sick.
Let's do your vision.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, so as you guys were I drove your character for a little bit. I hope that's okay. As you guys were leaving Shalamas kind of in a hurry because the Kabbalists were alerted to your presence.
Yes.
But you had the kind of overwhelming desire to see what had happened to your father's wine operation as you were stewing on it for reasons. And so you went there and you saw that the whole thing had indeed been taken over. The signage had all been kept of what the hell was this place called again? The wait. The Tulamet Dunes Vineyard. Tulamet, right?
Dunes.
All of it is bustling and productive on a level that you had never seen before when your father had run it, but it seems soulless. A soulless operation, right? But then you witness a echo happening of your father locking up the winery and starting to walk away, and several of the cabal with their masks coming out from this alley and like roughing him up, and he's shouting and saying like, what are you doing? Leave me alone! And he's saying, you know, they shove him into this kind of dead end alley, right? And he falls to the ground, and they've been like roughing him up, and he's on the ground looking up at them and saying, this has something to do with my son. I have disowned him, and he's not a part of my life anymore. And they say, and you recognize the figure who's speaking, who's kind of leading this little thing, is the Kabbalistic Desire, right? And he's saying, well, it should be known, well, I don't really care whether he's given up on him or not. When I entered the Cabal of Whispers, it was with nothing. And so I think we should all have a fair chance at starting fresh. And all earthly connections to the world and family should be taken care of with any new membership. So it doesn't matter to me, your connection to your son. The fact that you still live is important. And he kind of snaps his fingers, and then several of these thugs take bottles of the wine and chuck it down the alley at your father. Strike him and shatter glass. Wine spills all over him, and several more bottles are hurled, and they crash on the ground in front of him, and he's crawling through this broken glass and shouting, and he's like, I have nothing, I would never give him anything, and they're just kind of watching, and Bobert comes up and kind of shakes you, because you're like sucked into this vision, right? And Bobert comes and shakes you, and in the moment that before you part with this sight, you see your father having his throat slit, and the figure, the mask that turns and looks in your direction is Orion's mask.
Where's Suri?
To Sir!
Oh boy. If I can't find it, I feel like
The last time I checked, it says benevolent GM.
Benevolent GM, not the cruelest. Not the cruelest GM.
GM.
Crushing. Oh.
Plausible deniability. Clones. We don't know when they were made.
Okay.
You may get a good look as well.
This figure definitely had
The t-shirt
had
is
the
gone.
wounds on the throat, had the scars of the noose.
Of the gallows.
I lost the dessert symbolically.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a 15-minute break, but super quick. I'm gonna do a quick announcement for everyone to hear, and then I will give you guys a hook with a glimpse of what the Pink Death looks like, so that we can keep people intrigued.
Delicious.
Sunday. At 6:30, same time that we start this stream, we're going to be running a special 4-episode stream of Chronicles of Future Earth.
Oh yeah.
In collaboration with the Mindjammer Press Kickstarter for the game right now. We're going to be running the quick start module of this game, and it is much like Numenera. It is the far future. However, instead of being the ineffable, otherworldly, crazy weirdness that nothing ever makes sense, it's straight up high fantasy, demon possessed swords, alien psionicists, mantis mystical warriors, mantis men mystical warriors. It's crazy, and it's like a straight up planetary romance sword and
artwork
planet.
is incredible.
It's so wild. It's
like
Bruce Pennington
70s.
style.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is exquisite.
It's on Kickstarter right now.
In fact, I'll post the link in the chat when we hit the break. But so make sure to go check it out. They're already hitting stretch goals. It's fully funded, and they're killing it. So stay tuned for that on Sunday. Mark your calendars. And yeah, that was what I was gonna say, right?
Yeah, and you were gonna leave us with a picture of
the Pink Death.
Of the Pink Death. Cute as a baby's bottom.
Cute
Dr. Noir
as
says.
a baby's bottom.
Also, Patsy.
Yeah. No.
Oh, I've seen this.
Looks like that all your TV treatment.
Brooding is the word I was looking for. That was what I was looking for.
Exquisite.
Brooding. Sorry, guys. I couldn't think of it.
A brooding.
Last minute change. Riding, actually.
Riding.
Let's go more direct.
Are you riding an animal into the tunnel?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So riding and
Just-
geology.
Okay.
Follow
Noted.
I'm looking for ill-conceived plans.
You are gonna ride on one of
Yes,
these
they're
mine
coming
carts, though. You're gonna surf it.
That's Donkey Kong
Yeah.
style.
Yes. Oh my god, and be jumping. Clank, 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 clank.
Oh my god.
Makes sense.
Classic.
Physics.
love
Why
it.
not?
Yeah, that's how that works.
Classic.
Buckets of bananas.
Well, welcome back, guys,
What I am.
to episode 8 of the Jade Colossus.
Here we are.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
most obnoxious.
Daniel's diesel drag.
Wandered in the beyond.
Yeah, I'm not. Void Effigy was looking for a particular city, but I could not think of it. Void Effigies are
Resident expert.
yeah, our encyclopedic knowledge of the ninth,
Our follower
the ninth
of
world.
payroll.
Forgive me if I offend anyone in the chat. But who's our troll again from earlier?
I don't think we have a troll.
Wasn't there guys with actually?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
the person,
Yeah,
yeah,
who's
the
that?
miscount.
Oh, that we had miscategorized the stream. Yeah, that ended in
They
the same
have
day
not
that it.
returned.
Yeah, they haven't
Oh,
come
okay.
back.
Okay,
We
never mind.
switched it.
But
Whatever.
but yeah.
I didn't know if he was like a super fan who like also was like correcting us because he
Willing
wanted us
to
to be
report,
he
too.
wanted us to be better.
Maybe
'Cause he
maybe
just
that's what was in his
deleted us
heart.
that.
Let's believe that was what was
Why
in his
not?
heart. Yeah. In any case, the group is venturing into the tunnels of Bodrov on their way up to the city of Bodrov. The Pink Death is rampant in the tunnels of Bodrov. Someone was just killed earlier, devoured by it. Which it is known that when people are killed by this thing, they are liquefied and then they are slurped up.
Why didn't I have that recorded? So deadpan. They are slurped up.
And then they are slurped up, and that's
Oh,
what
it
the
is
weird-
recorded.
That's what the yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
That's what the
What
strange.
happened to Kintaris?
Yeah, Kid Taurus.
Kintaris.
Yeah.
At least according to Foreman Lash, that is the.
They think they didn't find any evidence of
Well, you
being
wouldn't,
dissolved.
would you?
If you're liquefied and slurped
Oh,
up.
That's
yeah,
what I want to
true.
know.
There's
are there
no
like
evidence.
smatterings that are just left behind? With,
Yeah,
like,
do
bits
their
of air?
do their clothing get?
Yeah, there's often evidence of it in the same way that
Well,
like if you
you know,
spill like a bunch of water or whatever on the floor and then your cat licks it up, it's like they don't lick up all of it, right? There's evidence of the liquefied remains.
So it's like you could be walking by like, ew, I think I got some guitars on my shoe.
Yep, like the ground of a movie theater, except it's people.
Well,
It's like we walked through like somebody who spilled Pepsi.
Oh.
Oh, shoes for the rest of the day.
All right, what's your guys' goal right now?
okay, Bobert has excused himself from conversation with the foreman because he needs to have everyone huddle up.
Yep. Foreman Lash goes and starts like cracking the whip and getting everybody back in line. but gives you a good squeeze.
Oh.
Yes, Zert with a Z.
The location
I'm
is
sure the squeeze is not up
undisclosed.
here, so we
Ride the mountain.
You meet me here. Meet in my place.
A good old
Neither a
squeeze.
yes nor a no, but a wink.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I might swap genders.
You're tempting Bobert right now. Someone died. Okay.
Just to clarify, that's not necessarily the intention of the phrase switch, but
Oh.
one can be both.
At least
Sir.
Lash can.
Did you all overhear everything that the foreman and I discussed?
Does Zert have a sister? Or
Oh my
the equivalent?
You know, I don't know, Cash. Why don't you go ask the foreman?
Come back, shoot up, spit out.
That That's kind of what Bobert is hoping.
It'll put some hair on your
Bobert,
chest.
If Zur has a sibling, you can't handle them. And you can't handle the foreman.
So
Yeah,
I'm not
like-
interested in being turned to goo, so I'm looking to get out of here quick. Also, I just don't like this place very much.
Hannah, give me an intellect, like a perception.
Ooh, am I assessing danger or just perception?
This has more to do with extra dimensional stuff.
Oh, can I use my...
Is it my chair?
Oh my god.
You sense a chair coming into being.
Do you
Being
have
sat upon.
dimensional lore? Or I can either do perception or dimensional lore.
I think dimensional lore is cool. Yeah, if you're trained in that.
You're also trained in jumping, don't forget.
What did you get?
It's in that one.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh no! GM intrusion.
You can spend an XP to have it not happen.
Yeah, if I hadn't leveled up, I could do that.
Also, I want to do that.
All right. GM intrusion is that you're sensing kind of the residue of an extra dimensional presence near you, right? And you're kind of like in the same way that think like Aragorn finding all the like weird little
let me lick
broken
some orc
leaves and
blood.
stuff. Yeah. Oh, I found this. You're kind of like following this strange like a trail that no one else is really able to see, right? It is like displaced pieces of the fabric of reality as that have been left as a slime trail by an extra dimensional being, and you're tracing it, and you find this hole that has been burrowed in the wall that is pretty low down, round, and something has burrowed through it and slipped in, and you can tell that it's fresh because the stone is like dripping with a liquidified. It was liquidified. It was made into a liquid. Liquefied. Thank you. Liquidified.
You worked too hard.
I know. I like that.
Fantastic.
Just like, what is it, layways?
Come on in.
I use my geology and like, this appears to have turned into an aqueous solution.
Yeah. It was like acid boiled it away and kind of thing, and it's still
Yeah, that's so fascinating.
dripping.
Man, am I about to go Alice in Wonderland then?
Yeah,
Fall down this hole?
we were all in a conversation, and Joe is just like,
Hang on.
seeking.
Damn, she's weird.
Time to seek.
Is that the hole here?
Yeah.
That's his, you know.
He calls it like he sees it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't quite see the.
Wait, so what was the intrusion? I think I may have missed it.
I think the intrusion is yet to come.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
think the
No, that was
intrusion
it. That's
is
that's
that-
fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's like
It's nearby.
Oh.
Prepare for the worst.
Yes, exactly. It's a 6
Six
and
or
below.
below.
What's our GM intrusion jingle? Do we have one yet? I just
Dum dum.
Oh, I was. Yeah. I'll go there.
Dum dum.
Make the semi-truck.
Yes. There we go.
Just perfect.
So how do we get out of here, Bobert?
Well, I mean, the way's up.
It's
That's
close.
straight enough. Oh, it's close.
The way out's close.
No.
Bobber, you're also because you see
Yeah.
Joe like crouching
Joe's
down by this
backing up
hole,
We gotta move.
and you're
I
and as you're looking at this hole, you're seeing like the frayed remnants of wiring and whatnot that have been burned through. And this is like what the team that Kid Taurus leads that goes through this and like stitches these wirings back
Yeah.
together, and you often accompany him and help out or guard or like or point these out or close up these tunnels, you know.
We gotta move. That's loud enough for the group to hear. Everybody, including the other crew and who's helping the merchant. Yeah, we'll go up to the foreman and point out what Joe saw.
Yeah, Lash looks at it and just is shaking their head, and it's bad news.
Does it seem like would the creature be in the tunnel? Like have just use this as an escape, or would it be out? Just use this as an entrance. We don't know.
It's not clear.
Somebody could roll and see if they can get more information about this.
Geology, go!
Geology, go!
Trained in geology. Deploy geology.
I knew this would come in handy.
Watch out, guys. I'm about to do some science.
Oh shit! Yes.
All right, what do I? So I just roll.
Are you mimicking my voice?
You know, I didn't think about that.
Gets pissed.
I didn't even realize, but yeah.
Speaks to the.
Yeah, are you using any? I'm gonna say this is a demanding
It's a
task, so
gross
it's a 9 that you're
He's
looking
been
at.
training me.
And if you're trained in it, then it's reduced to a 6.
Nice.
You can use effort if you want to reduce it more, but you're looking for a 6 on the die.
You got
What
this.
am I doing? Am I doing an intellect?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I trust.
Well, I guess I'm gonna use some effort because I really want to make sure I get this done.
Wait.
All right. One tier of effort.
Ooh, well, I guess I'm gonna be doing a X. Oh, I don't have the XP.
Not one. Oh wait. Wait.
Y'all are just trying to get eaten by this shit.
This is unintentionally the Halloween.
I'm like looking at it like, yep, it's rocks.
Oh,
Those
goodness.
are rocks! I heard about these. Wait.
Yep, it's a rock. Oh god.
As
That shit happened.
Cash is stooping
this is
down
funnier.
and is like using like a little piece of metal that he keeps handy to probe such things when he decides to be trained in geology, and is probing this, and the metal is sinking in, and it's kind of like, oh, this is really strange, and starts to like stoop in, and then suddenly, like the ground underneath him just like starts to crumble, and he just as if this tunnel, you guys thought this tunnel went in this direction, and maybe one time it did, but then there was also one that went like this, so as he was leaning forward, just like started to slip and then fell down this hole, so you see him double over.
Speed check to try to grab him.
This is my GM intrusion on the nat 1.
That's where I go, I regret nothing!
Bobert's coming after you, absolutely 110%.
If only I chosen woodworking!
Yes.
I will just jump after him like an idiot.
Alright, you take 2 points of damage from your might pool as you like crash, 10-15 feet down a
I
tunnel.
would stop Bobber from just making hasty decisions. In my sullen
against
attitude, I've gotten a little level-headed. Don't just jump down there.
Let him go. We don't need him.
Cash, can you hear us?
I'm okay!
What do you see down there?
A lot of rocks!
Oh my god. Is there
It's really
is
dark!
there 50 feet of hempen rope and an explorer's bag?
I don't think so! I'm really scared, guys!
Hey, it's all
Smells funny!
Oh gosh.
That's probably because I soiled myself!
There is 50 feet of rope! Yes!
Yes!
Rope!
50 feet of rope.
You can hold this, Patsy.
Alright.
Now I'm jumping down.
Give it to Orion. What the heck? Don't give it to this waif.
Guys, I hear weird stuff!
In the same room as
I've
you.
become Morty.
And you're actually you're seeing the half dissolved body, like legs, waist, down.
Oh man, I'm freaking out, guys!
Are all that's left of it, and the rest has become this weird puddle, and you get the sense of some invisible form is slurping it up, because you're seeing this liquid like slide and disappear, like as if it's being, imagine like the image of like water being lapped up by a cat, but the cat is invisible, right? It's
I'm
just
having flashbacks to like when someone knocked a loogie in my coffee this morning.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm like ready to Ralph. I'm just like, oh Gus! Gus!
happened?
I need some help!
Oh, it's the saddest story.
Somebody hocked
Which person is Cash?
The green one.
The green one.
Yeah.
I like took a big swig. I was like,
Is that hole
would've been slugging
longer than
somebody.
50 feet?
I didn't know it was.
No.
There was somebody in the room, but it was definitely illuminated.
Do we need to roll initiative?
It's not visible.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Maybe
guys!
a corpse form, and
What
yeah, but yeah, I
species
will
was
need one
Guitarus again?
for it.
I believe that
You want
Guitarus
some kind of
was a
Yeah,
human.
maybe that big
And it
green
was
squid thing.
Gnarlin fish
Is
that was
Cash
This?
Where's Cash?
How about that for the pink death?
A different kind of
This.
creature.
So, my backstory is forthcoming.
Okay. Visibly.
I'll just say it's in Gone, which is why I keep pressing.
Oh,
I think that's probably a good
definitely.
idea. Yeah, you guys should roll initiative.
Will do, Capitan. Hey, guess what?
If
I
we're go-
rolled
if
from
we're
a
going
1.
down, just kidding.
I rolled a 1 and now I rolled a 2.
Well, Cash can
No.
come up. We can pull Cash up.
Yeah.
Is that the case? I thought we had to get down
And,
quick.
and Josh, while you're there, can you grab that GM
I'm starting to freak out, and I'm also becoming Rick.
for the
Morty, we're gonna be fine.
yeah, no initiative?
Initiative
Really
tracker.
good.
Yeah.
Heard.
Morty.
It's kind
I'm
of
not
fun
seeing
to play. It's pretty. I don't know. For some reason, you just kind of think back to when, if you can imagine yourself as like an 11-year-old again,
I think this.
and your voice starts cracking, it just kind of becomes.
So that might be really fitting.
I don't know. Did you ever go through the voice
Let's do
cracking?
that.
I never did. I never.
Did you just
experienced
always
that.
sound like that?
I've always sounded like this.
I've always sounded like glorious.
Since I was born.
It's always been Patsy's voice. Always been Patsy since the moment of my inception.
I'm playing a
I'm not
cool
seeing
character
it.
next time.
That's
I want to
because
play a cool character.
she's got
I was
it.
thinking of being
I've been
like
over
a
there looking for
badass
that.
butler doing next campaign.
A badass butler?
Yeah.
Shoot.
This is
Excellent.
I'm
Thank
here
you.
for badass butlers.
I want to be
I'm
like
on a
someone
12.
who's like
A 12?
so awesome. It's like, why are you not like in
Jeeves?
charge? But yeah.
All right,
like, with
what
the
did people
mustache
get in on
and stuff,
initiative?
He's just like so
Jeeves
badass.
and Poirot's
I didn't roll.
Sorry,
Huh?
keep trying to get my
Jeeves
eyes.
and Poirot's baby.
I forgot we were playing D&D.
Poirot is one of Agatha Christie's detectives.
Oh,
Miss Marple
I
and
was
Poirot.
thinking. I was just gonna take Sebas from Overlord.
Hannah and Taylor, what'd you guys get on
I
initiative?
got a grand total of 2. I moved up from the nat 1.
Excellent.
What have we got here?
Yeah, baby.
It's a 14.
What'd you get, Taylor?
4.
That's fairly busted it.
I'm real screwed, guys.
Bye.
I never want to go first anyway,
I
so
got 8.
I'm fine with.
Well, yeah, you would spend
Roll
the first
initiative.
turn like rolling
What'd you get,
your
Daniel?
wings back, cracking your knuckles.
5.
Oh yeah, I got a dramatic.
Yeah, you
I got
gotta
five.
you gotta size it up. You gotta be ready.
All right,
Also watching everyone
guys
else walk in first.
you guys all go after it.
Thanks, guys.
Great.
Good for cash.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
And Cash, you've been like shouting when you heard that thing, right?
Wait,
Dude,
stop. Is this its
Of course he
My
is.
whole Morty thing was
Yeah.
like all like in character.
That's like keyword large or some. How many? It's like.
Huge.
Big.
Yeah.
I mean, in D&D terms, that's a huge.
I'm not okay with this.
So the moment you're like you hear that crazy slurping sound, and then you're like, guys, there's something down here with me, and then it's just silent.
Because it knows it's
still
just
up for-
gray.
Yes.
Like we can't hear Cash anymore.
No, you can still hear he's like shouting that, and then by the
Oh,
time he's
we
done
can't hear the
shouting
thing
it, the
anymore.
slurping sound completely ends, and you
Actually, I've gone silent now.
No, Cash,
passed out.
please stop.
and you see. Well, give me a perception. Give me an intellect roll, and if you're trained in perception.
Who, me?
Yeah. We have to go down there.
This is it, man. I'm dead.
No, Cash.
That is a single digit.
Gone for 2 episodes, comes
6.
back, immediately dies.
What am I doing, guys?
No, he'll survive.
Reroll!
All you witness
Butler's coming down today.
is in this puddle of liquefied human. You see a momentary splash as if a paw lands on it and parts ways with it, and then all is still.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody have any ciphers?
No!
By the way,
I almost
I want
went-
like my scarf to have come off, and that's the
Streeter
first thing
joke.
with a pile of like liquefied remains. I want
And
that to be what they see
cipher.
first.
Okay, your scarf.
Unless they get a straight up 20, like trying to find me.
Can we
in
hear
this
him?
darkness.
Can we hear you? Are you making noise?
I was until I passed out from fear. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm like going, guys, I don't know what's going on here. I just saw like a giant pie. I'm really scared. I don't know what's going on.
Grab the damn rope!
I can't find the rope.
Damn it!
I don't see it.
All right, give me a
Did you throw it yet?
speed defense. As you hear
Double digits. Double
the
digits.
sound as if
17.
as if some kind of tendril is like whipping through the air towards you. You're like,
Whoa! 17.
nice, excellent.
So when the cash-like reflexes kick in.
Ooh, nice.
Excellent.
Though, are you trained or anything in this, or did you use effort?
Yes.
got a 17.
I used effort.
Okay. Then you do succeed.
Coincide.
The crack of tendrils flicking in the air around you, and the like flash of like liquid appearing in the air, and like crashing against the stone, splashing against the stone near you, and then the sizzle of this liquid striking the stone, and it's like,
Oh, I'm imagining it sounding like the last bits of when like a firecracker goes off, or not firecracker. I guess the fireworks. It goes, after it's done the.
yeah, and so the stone is melting, and then an instant after that sound happens, the form is visible before you, and it looks.
See it.
It looks like this. It is.
Drops and like.
It is a massive creature. It is 15 feet long from the tip of its tendrils
Shit.
to the end of its tail,
15 feet.
and it
Why is
looks blurry.
Why is it
because
blurry,
it
though?
looks blurry to you. It's impossible to find any kind of focus upon it, and it is like the color of like raw uncooked meat.
I hate that.
What kind of
description
meat?
so
Like
much.
beef?
Guys, what does pink look like again?
Like beef?
And it is like right in front of your face, and the tendrils are like pulling back, like they just lashed at you, and you managed to duck out of the way, and they're pulling back, like ready to strike again.
Oh, that's so perfect. Did you line that up? Oh my god.
Is it pink?
It's magic.
So good.
Sirenscape magic.
Yeah,
Coming
Keith's
through.
just that good.
Disgusting.
All right.
Our turn.
Yep. You guys go in any order.
LOL, all of us are beneath the beast.
Hashtag beneath the beast.
Is that
Are we talking about Lash, or are we still talking about Pink Death?
Both.
all of the
Orion jumps down. Sliding down the hall.
Straight baller. He's got Bamf carved into the hilt of his lightsaber.
As
Do I need to make any
He has
sort of a
Bamf
check to
carved
slide
into,
down?
like, his chest.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this is just standard. So
Alright,
it's a
we thought
6 target. If you're trained in like jumping or climbing or anything like that.
Are you mocking my voice?
That is a clip, and you know it.
Well, it's so funny story. That's just one of those voices that I have, which I have yet to figure out how to utilize. But
13.
Like a 13 or
Never
18?
say 18 again. Never. Always say 13.
it's always, yeah.
Nat 13,
Yeah, I
baby.
succeeded.
All right.
All the members are
Yeah, so I like baseball slide down into the room, and with momentum run up to this thing, trying to focus on it.
This is such good music selection right now.
Thanks.
Sirenscape.
Sirenscape.
Our paid subscription to Sirenscape is providing this excellent music, Creative Commons license.
I actually have super monster-y.
Give us a deal!
Too.
One more time, you have what?
I'm attacking this thing.
All right.
Hey, if they give us mugs, I will make sure it's on camera every time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to bash it, which dazes it for a round.
Okay.
Reduces the damage by 1.
Gonna do that.
It costs a might. I don't know why my might edge is erased.
Buenos dias.
Were you gonna change? Did you level
I think I leveled it up again, so I think it's is 2. What's happening there?
Say that in place of thank you sometimes.
No, I'd be like, "Donde está mi-"
And this thing is like, these tendrils are all freaky up in your face and dripping from the like squid-like mouth. At the center of the tendrils is the liquefied remains of this person that it was just slurping up.
And this, for the record, this is the person we heard scream right before break. Okay. Rip. Poor innocent soul.
It was my long lost lover that like we never got to meet.
I'm also going to use effort.
I had written like pages upon pages of backstory. And
Okay, I rolled a 9. I was using effort, and I am trained in weapons, so it's eased twice.
Okay.
And I had a 9.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, cool. So, a medium weapon, remind me how much damage does that do? 4? Okay, so I do 3 damage, and it's
thought it was
dazed.
6.
I have a 4.
Or maybe
I
it
think
is
you're
4.
right.
Yeah,
4
the
is
bow
okay
is
for
medium. I have 4 written.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so 3 damage, and it's dazed for a round.
Got it.
yeah, OB.
The joyous shock mount.
Skills.
Alright, how much damage?
3,
3.
and it's dazed.
Dazed makes it difficulty +1 difficulty on all tasks. So if you guys are trying to dodge away from its attacks, you'll be at an advantage.
Okay, cool.
What if I'm trying to mount it?
Oh, it.
Then you'd be at an advantage. Yeah. Well, actually, it's on its
Not in a
tasks
lash way,
are more
but in like
difficult.
the bull riding way.
Noted. All right, so that was Orion has gone. So Patsy, or anybody is
Okay, well,
any order, yeah.
someone has to stay up here to hold the
Yeah.
rope, or we don't get out.
Stay
hold the
here,
rope.
hold the rope. As I slide down.
You can tie.
being a coward and not coming down to help me.
We can get some NPCs to hold this rope.
Yeah.
Get Armstrong over here.
AKA what?
The glorious brothers, I shall help you.
So, Patsy comes sliding down this thing and does one of those where you like slide into like a base or whatever.
Baseball
and you
slide?
Stand up immediately,
Yes.
and then like from nowhere, extra dimensional chair is coming.
Yes.
And I'm flinging
Comes from
it.
out of nowhere with the chair.
I'm flinging it. I'm basically that's just the fluff. I'm doing a distraction.
All right, give me a target 6, like a difficulty 2 roll to get down this thing.
Yeah. No, not. 15.
Nailed it.
Yep, you got it. Okay, and then
Just give it, like,
whatever you're trying to do.
So the distraction is when a character uses his turn to distract a foe, the difficulty of
So
the
you get
foe's
a two-
attack
Go ahead.
is modified by 1 step to its detriment for 1 round. Multiple characters distracting the foe has no greater effect than a single bubble.
Yeah, distracted is the term.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know if I have to roll for that.
I think you do. Yeah.
So do those things stack? Because I know he dazed it, and if it's also distracted,
Yeah.
this makes subsequent tasks that much easier.
Do 2 steps. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can stack this stuff in order to make it hard for it to hit.
So I want to. I guess I'm making a roll. What kind of is it? A distraction? Maybe a speed test?
Yeah.
You think? All right. So I'll use an edge.
Yeah, speed or might. I can see either way.
I'll use speed. Actually, I'll use 2 edge. Oh, it's already dazed, right? So this
Yeah.
is gonna be ease.
Well, both dazed and distraction are giving it disadvantages on things that it does. So like, if you guys are dodging like against its attacks, then it'll be easier.
Oh.
But it won't be easier to hit it.
Gotcha.
for other people.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
That would have to be something else.
So I will use. I'll use 2 effort here. And then now I'm going to make a roll.
What is that?
It's 2.
Gravity well. Come on.
Where
Come
you
on,
at?
Gravity
Gravity
Well.
Well?
For real.
It's like, I'm only a 14.
Okay, no distraction.
You hurl your chair through the air, and it just like grabs it with its tendrils, and the acid just like boils it away, and you just see
No,
it.
your chair.
It just, when it gets
Oh, wait.
dissolved, it goes
You've
back
got
to the
many
other
chairs.
dimension.
Yeah,
I just imagine
Yeah.
Betsy being able to pull as many as he wants.
Yeah.
Hammer space.
They're actually a different chair each time you pull it out.
It always looks a little bit different. Yep.
You're like, ooh, I really liked that one though.
Alright, so we have
They're all
Joe,
handcrafted
Cash,
by
and
someone.
Bobert. Like,
Yep.
actually
Toss me down there, in front of Cash, I guess.
Like here.
Yeah, somewhere kind of like in between him and
them. Yeah,
the
you're
thing.
trying to.
This balance
But
is
obviously I'm-
perfect.
Thanks.
Joe or Cash, you got something ready to go?
I'm ready, but I want to
Joe
be the
was
very
gonna
last.
hesitate.
okay.
Yeah.
You gonna hold on to that rope?
I am holding on
Or are
to
you gonna
it.
be the glue that holds us together?
No, we can get an NPC to do that.
Don't put that much faith in Joe. Joe.
Or we can get like
Armstrong can do
7
this. You got it.
NPCs.
You
Yeah.
should get in there
Yeah.
and you should further.
So I guess, okay, here, I'll go now. So Patsy said, hold on to the rope, and hands Joe the rope. Joe turns to Lash and says, can you take this?
Yeah, she grabs it.
Can you
She's
take
like,
this?
picks it-
Lash
they
has
grab
never
it.
said no to can you take this?
Yeah, right.
Alright, and I'm
I can
They,
take
they,
many
they
of
wrap the
these.
rope like around their arm and pull it, and then wrap the other arm, and are just
yeah, it's like braced
like
around their waist.
flexing, and
The
it's
Matrix.
Feels-
Whenever Neo whips it. ropes
Lash
out.
has never
Yeah.
said no to taking a few inches.
Wow.
Oh.
dang.
Did someone get onto me for keeping it PG earlier? And was it you two?
No, I said we haven't gone far enough.
It was I?
We're not there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Hannah, you're doing something.
Yes. What are we rolling to get down?
Just a difficulty 2, so a target 6.
Does training and jumping help?
Yep.
On
So you're
it.
looking at 3.
Do it.
That is another nat 1.
Oh.
What is happening?
That one, baby, that one.
Every time you use your jumping skill, you fail.
Oh.
Joe was not meant to jump.
Y'all are
this
just
is a bad
taking
sign.
my.
All right, you
rolls from last week.
You fall on the creature.
as you're sliding down this tunnel, you get caught in it a weird way, and it twists your body. You take 2 from your might pool, but you're also clogging up this passage.
Oh, so
So it'll take an
Force you
action.
down.
Yeah, some people will not be able to slide down and take an action in the same turn. They'll have to like force you down.
Who hasn't come down yet?
You're like stuck in it like a kid in a
Don't come
slide,
down
right?
yet.
Oh, do I ever know?
Do it. Oh god.
Hashtag lost child report at the Adventure Center.
And this is like
Every day. Every damn day.
definition of an
check the slide.
interfering barrier, so I can't
Where
just
did you
go
last see your
past
child? The second floor of the tower.
Well, does Bobert know though, or does Bobert just take the jump?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
no,
that
die.
we're about to get
Oh, well, you hear
Odds are
Joe
even.
go, ow!
Evans didn't notice.
Oh
Evans didn't notice.
Down we go!
You got a 6?
Oh god. I'm sorry, I brought this into the world.
I'm not. This is amazing. I'm loving
Yeah,
every
go ahead.
moment of this.
Oh my.
Oh, baby!
Are you trained in jumping or anything like that?
Climbing.
Okay, yeah. You make it down and you're like kind
Oh, Joe!
of not necessarily crash into her, but you're able to like slow yourself down as you notice that she's
Okay.
they are crammed in this hole.
Bobert, my body!
You can use an action to free them.
It's ready.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, and you don't have to roll for it. You guys basically both just get down into the hole, but you're not able to.
Pathetically at the bottom of the road.
Yeah.
You know, and that one could have been much worse.
Nat,
Oh,
whoa,
did you
baby!
do
Nat,
intrusion?
no, Nat
Was that
was
getting
amazing.
stuck?
Getting stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more fun.
It just
Cash.
stalled you guys mostly.
Moment of truth.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a visual. I'd like to provide here.
Is it
Geology.
This is what
Yes.
I am going to attempt my best impression of Chris Pratt
Yeah, from Jurassic Park. taming the
using my
raptors.
biology animal husbandry.
Yes. Excellent.
To walk up and be like, Pink, dude, it's okay. As I'm trying to I'm basically gonna try to mount it.
Oh my god! Whoa! Let's go slowly.
You might have to calm it first.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna calm it first.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm doing first the Chris Pratt impression while everyone else is.
That's where we are right
My
now.
intention is to do that.
That benevolent GM is a misnomer.
No.
A
If you rearrange the letters of benevolent,
The worst.
it just
No.
Malevolent.
I'm using effort on this one.
Oh yeah,
And-
effort.
Don't forget about it.
Using effort. Is this considered might, speed, or intellect?
I'd say intellect, yeah.
Okay.
Because you're doing like a charisma.
'Cause I'm trying to be
social
like,
thing, yeah.
It's okay. Hey,
You guys are all like whipping your weapons up into the
No,
air.
Eloise.
And Cash steps
It's
in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Eloise.
yeah.
No, what's really happening here is Cash was terrified, and then all of a sudden he's got Orion and Patsy at both shoulders, and now he's like, okay.
Wait, I got this. Guys, I got this. While I'm sitting there, I can barely see anything, but I'm just wait, my buddies are here. I don't want to look like a wuss.
Yeah.
They gotta look like doing something cool.
Oh god.
man, but
I've got 12. 12.
All right.
With effort.
Use the effort, and you're trained in this,
I
right?
am trained in biology, animal husbandry. also riding. Just so you know. I am ready for this.
All right.
I didn't get my space squirrel, so I'm getting my pink Cthulhu.
You're stepping up like this, and you're saying what? You're saying it's okay.
Hold on. So it's a pink death, right? So I'm like, shh, it's okay. We're not gonna harm you.
Oh.
We just kind of, we're just trying to pass through. We're just trying to pass through.
oh, we're gonna harm you.
Well, I'm not gonna harm him yet, sir. Whatever.
All
Slam.
over again.
It's like, are you a guy or girl? Doesn't matter. Whatever. It's okay. Shh. I get it. You're hungry. You're scared. You're probably missing your master. I assume you had a master. It's okay. As I slowly come up and try to pet one of his tentacles. It's okay. There you go. What's your name? Do you have a name? Do you
It's
have
a
name?
misnomer.
Eloise.
He's going to kill you.
All right, GM intrusion.
Yes.
It lashes at you as you go to reach to pet it. It seems like it's calming, and it's just kind of staring at you, and it's super weird because you're getting closer and closer to this huge form that is just utterly blurry. It's just this weirdly stretched
But
out.
I see this weird eye thing. I feel like we're locking eyes, except for I have double vision, so I can't tell if I just
You're
if I've got a concussion, or maybe I'm drunk or something. I'm fumes.
We're screaming at you, but
Cash,
our voice
stop!
is totally.
You idiot!
yeah.
Back away! And I'm just shh, it's okay, it's fine.
All right, you get an XP, and you can pass one to another person.
Yeah. Alright,
And then give me a speed defense as it lashes.
Okay. What did everybody do again?
So Orion and Pat.
Ryan jumped down after you first.
Okay.
And then
Bobert
Patsy
also
stepped
threw a
in
rope
front
down
of
for you and you missed it.
Did you
I'm
throw
an
the
idiot.
rope down yet?
I didn't see it. 'Cause I'm an idiot.
Joe got stuck in a tunnel. I would
I threw a chair,
Yeah.
That's like
LVP
WWE.
situation.
I jumped down first, and then Patsy jumped down second.
Okay.
But Patsy did place his body between you and the beast.
Patsy's gotta get it.
but Aw, that's sweet of you.
How many XP do you have left, by the way, after you leveled up? I want to spread it around.
I have 2.
And you had how many?
I have none, but
So now
I
you have-
just bumped up.
Now you got
so
one.
I spent 4.
There's not a roll. You just take 3 damage as its tendril
Ow!
whips up. You're reaching out, and this tendril slaps your hand, and there's this residue of its weird acid on your hand, and you're ah! It's a chemical burn that you're kind of shaking away.
I like to think it was mostly mental damage, as I was fairly felt,
your ego.
I felt
Yeah.
betrayed.
Yeah.
Shame.
No, it was my.
friends.
It was my. But yeah, it was calming, and then you started to reach forward, and it got like weird about that.
Guys, it was getting through to it.
But then on its
No
turn,
sudden movements.
on its turn, it doesn't look like it's like nearly as aggressive as it was. Like you've definitely calmed it, and on its turn, it's just like
Did we factor in the fact that it was dazed and distracted? By the way.
those are like on its
surprise.
attacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, things that it's doing. But it just stares for a long moment. It seems like all of you guys feel like it's staring at you personally in that weird way that sometimes paintings you're like, it's looking right at me. And it just says and then it scuttles backwards up the wall, and its tail touches the wall, and the wall just dissolves, and it just slips into the hole. But it does all
said
this like backwards.
Walls.
Fools.
Fools. Okay.
Orion speaks monster.
Because he is one.
Yeah.
You could chase it if you guys want to.
Ooh.
No, it's time to
Cash
go.
like pass. Bobert's like, let's go.
Well, I was thinking, I was like, okay, are we gonna see it again? Like, I'm trying to think in terms of narrative because I know I know my end game. I know what's coming back. Oh, that was Patsy. I gotta stop.
You just happen to be copying all your friends today. Like, it's fine.
Did that just...
I'm having an identity crisis, okay? I have
no,
to speak to
Bobert's
the
having an
team.
identity crisis. We can't both do this.
I can't take
What is this, a crossover episode?
I don't know
All these identity crisis.
I don't know what I can roll for
I can't even
this.
feel my own feet.
For what? For chasing it?
And that's
I'm
why
not, I
you
don't
drink,
want
so
to
you don't
chase
feel
it. I'm going to play a soothing
Speaking of
song
drinking.
on my flute.
Okay.
Patsy is clearly voting for running.
To
Let's get the
calm
fuck
the
out of
crew. Okay.
To calm the creature.
I vote for
okay.
for going after
Does the
it.
dissolved hole stay open? Like, could it conceal the
Yeah, it looks like it's like just dripping
Okay.
and weird. I just moved it. Just turned. Yeah, sorry.
No, I just was making sure.
So this is my oddity where I just push buttons and it sounds like
Oh, it makes weird sounds. Okay. Yeah, give me an intellect check.
will do. I will use effort. And honestly,
I hated that I had to miss it, but
yeah, I'll use effort. One level of effort.
Totally fine. Glad you're back.
I have rolled
Is it a nat one?
It is a 2.
Oh,
I go back
at
and
least.
forth. I go back and forth.
It's the,
Ready to this?
Yeah.
I call twos the halflings one because
They are the halflings.
You're lucky.
edition they don't have to. Yeah.
Right, in 5th edition, halflings can't roll ones. So the lowest a halfling could possibly roll is a 2.
Very cool.
So they're just as upsetting to me as ones, since I have an abundance of
These
halflings.
dice have done well for me in the past. Apparently they don't like Joe though.
I think that this is like I'm getting the sense that the dice are telling us that our adventure started out strong and it is just going to
just gonna fall apart.
unravel into madness.
All right, you play this song and you hear the creature just like burrowing through this wall and
hates it.
continuing on. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have any. Doesn't connect with it in any way. Also, you're definitely getting the sense that this is a extra dimensional creature.
Oh, fun story.
What are we doing, Bobert?
And what the hell is that thing,
Did I just
Jokiel?
say words that we could understand?
Did he just say?
I don't think so.
I realize that was not as important, but it's important to me.
It'd be pretty amazing if we could take this, figure out what was going on with this thing. Cash, it seemed like what you were doing was sort of
Are
working.
you talking about
I
going
appreciate your
after
faith.
this thing? Right now.
Why not? Why else are we here?
You say that, and Orion points down to the ground at the half-dissolved person.
That's definitely not why I'm here.
This thing killed one of my closest friends, and it's on the
Is
way.
this your friend, Bobert?
No, I mean it probably could have been. But it's on its way to taking down Bodrov too, making all these extra tunnels and messing with the stability of the city. This is kind of a unique chance. No one's ever seen this before and lived
It's
to tell the
terribly
tale.
unique.
Oh, Joe.
Eyes shining with weirdness.
It's weird.
You all don't have to come with us, but
Hold on. If we don't go, you're gonna go by yourself?
well, no, I think I'm gonna go with Joe and Cash. Is what I'm hearing.
What the hell's going on down there? Lash.
Lash, we've seen the.
Did you know it could speak?
That's impossible. It can't speak.
It's called as fools. Seems pretty direct.
Never heard anything like that before, but anything that eats people's, can't have anything good to say.
Have you met the Cabal of Whispers?
Whoa! Same. Yes. Thank you, Cash. Bless.
Or the Syzygy ghouls. Or...
Betsy shoots you a very menacing eye.
Just one.
Shut up, Cash.
We think we might be able to get through to it.
I know.
Do you have anywhere to be?
Can you roll my way through?
Can you tie the rope somewhere for us?
You are not about to reason with the Pink Death.
Hold on.
It's not from this world.
Let's use 2 tiers of effort because that's
I'm
not.
going full Heroes Guild. I don't know about y'all, but
Bobert's signature move
Isn't even in the Heroes Guild. Knows what the Heroes Guild is about.
Okay, that's a 7. And I expended
2 tiers of effort.
And I am going to call upon Fire Inside and say that I am lowering because this applies to my passion.
Yeah.
I can bump the difficulty down 1 for it persuading.
What are you saying? The fire of passion in your heart.
this is you have fire and electricity. What in the world? Why are you so cool?
Bobert's wild as fuck, man.
I'm over here just being like fucking Morty.
Kinky.
Lash, I don't know that we're ever gonna have this chance again. Cash might have questionable decision-making skills, but this creature that we thought was just a monster spoke to us, and it seemed to be calming down for a second. If I ever want to get justice for... Let me look at the name of my best friend really quick.
Kid Taurus.
Kid Taurus.
And Gnarly and Fesh.
And all of the others who have fallen prey to the pink terror.
Who could forget your long bush?
We gotta take this opportunity while we got it. I know you're a person of action.
You hear a long moment of silence, and you hear just the dripping of the stone that's been liquefied, like a drippy faucet for a long moment, and then you hear, "Damn it, Bobert! If you get yourself killed," and you can hear tears in their voice. "You get yourself killed. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself."
At this, Patsy
Hasn't
yells
seen
up.
Bobert for years. Immediately in love
Don't
with
worry.
Bobert again.
Don't worry about Bobber.
What can I say?
At this, Patsy yells up, "Don't worry about Bobber.
Oh.
He's got good companions."
First it's this damned Colossus, and now this.
Thank you, Patsy.
We're going back to the Colossus. They're saying all these reckless decisions that you're making.
You're the Colossus.
They're not wrong. I mean, Bobert agrees.
It's your choice, Bobber.
Yeah, you won't regret this, Lash.
She slides down into the hole and has both arms filled with bundles of rope and starts tying the rope together and is like, if you're going in deep. Sorry.
Wait,
Phrasing.
Phrasing. This is the episode's name. Phrasing.
Phrasing, yep. Phrasing, sorry. Sorry.
If you happen to be going deep,
You could just cut the sexual
Bring
tension
rope.
with a pair of scissors.
Scissor G ghouls.
Oh,
Scissor G ghoul.
Put that away.
my mind went.
This is
12 places.
this is the breadcrumb
Not
trail, right?
acceptable.
It's like yank on the rope. She's gathered a bunch of rope from the rest of the crew.
Excellent. Okay, so I mean, off we go. I guess.
This looks like Shibari rope. Did you guys know what Shibari rope is used for?
I just looked it up on the data sphere.
That's really fascinating.
Tell us more about Vanta Black while you're in there.
If you get us killed, Bobert, I'm gonna be pissed, but I'm with you.
I can't make you do anything you don't want to do, Patsy. You're the one that said I had good companions.
That's the problem. I want to help. So let's go.
Vanta Black is made from carbon nanotubes.
Just kidding. Just go. Love it.
Are we going or not?
We're going. Okay. All right, Cash. I guess you take the lead. You're the ones with the skills for.
And I'm
Calm it down.
sitting here like extremely like very nervous because I'm clearly not.
What?
You're like, I didn't sign up for
I do
that.
not have aptitude for like courageous efforts.
Oriion's got just a little bit of a smile on his face.
Well, Cash, you leading the way.
But Cash is trying very hard.
You tell us what we need to do
With
to back
effort?
you up, Cash.
Oh, always with effort. Cash is
Excellent.
always trying with effort.
Excellent.
That's a character development thing. He's always having to provide effort because he feels like he has to.
Say that again.
For 2 tiers of
I should break that down. It's like
Five.
always have to have
Without
effort
like any edge.
because it's try hard. It's a compensation thing.
All right, you guys going into this hole?
Yeah. Cash? Do you have any
Deep.
feedback for like
Oh my fuck.
how we
on,
can
guys.
how we can back you up?
Oh, it's so deep.
Tunnel.
Go on, Cash. You're gonna get melted first.
Guys, let's go into this hole. Well, let's mount this thing. Let's mount an expedition.
All right, you guys. You managed to scale up this.
We thrust ourselves up
Oh my god!
Okay.
with great effort.
You guys. Oh, geez, I didn't realize this camera was going.
Oh jeez.
Oh, geez.
Oh jeez.
Um,
Oh Rick, I didn't know this camera was going.
You guys scale up this wall. Is not a very difficult task. Climb in through this hole and travel for a little while through these weird tunnels that this creature has made. And you find yourselves beneath the strange little drawbridge that connects. There's this huge ramp where the mine carts are actually leaving the cavern, going into the city proper, and you emerge into this kind of place where oftentimes they say the trolls live under this bridge or whatnot, right? And indeed there is a figure slumped under the bridge.
How deep is the
Like a
chasm?
person looking, a humanoid.
It's
Humanoid?
Are we close?
Humanoid.
Are you close? Yeah. You could
Like
You there!
Like who is close? So, like physically?
Under the bridge!
Oh boy.
the figure is just kind of shivering.
Oh.
I say, you there!
Joe's going to use perception.
Okay.
It's a 4. Wow.
That's
I doubled.
up.
I
That's
doubled.
up from a 2. Yeah.
I doubled.
Excellent.
You guys are doing
Bobert
great.
will
I forget. It's
approach.
been a bit. Is there a way to like help people with the roll if like it goes sour?
It's
I
more
don't
like
think
I should
after the
remember
fact.
that I can
I know
use
fate
effort.
seems like I remember fate being like that, but
Yeah.
So I'm having trouble
is
trying to
like
like.
I think you have to declare it before you're like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
help
we're
them.
doing this
There's like a
together.
complimentary thing too. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm trying to
they-
remember
they
because
boost it.
like the last game that you
Sorry, I'm
played,
totally just like-
last session was Fate, which was way more.
Yeah, it's different, definitely.
Man spreading.
Yeah, you're doing something.
There's like a whole
Yeah,
thing
I'll
where you
come
can
up
spread
to
out.
It's your character.
and
It's not you.
get like up close to it, try to look it in the face. Oh, we have some wisdom from Boyd.
If you use your action to help and are untrained, you provide 1 asset.
Yeah, but you're doing that.
If you
kind of
use
before.
your action to help and are trained or specialized, you provide 2 assets.
But it's before your
Yeah,
roll.
you're like
Yeah.
you guys decided as a kind of a team of
If you
like.
have an inability, you cannot provide help.
Yes, I love this tutorial voice.
I'm like,
Boyd Effigy,
If I'm trained in riding, can someone ride me, or do I have to ride them?
no,
to provide
just
assistance?
no across the
Yeah.
board.
Who are we?
Okay, I come up to the figure.
Thank you, Void Effigy.
Yes, always there.
Now we're
for us.
all.
You're my favorite person now
My.
in this whole room.
Is there no George Takei react on the?
Oh.
Oh my!
Because I feel like that's what we've been getting.
I know there's gotta be. I'm sure someone on Twitch has made a George Takei emoji, but.
I am the
We don't
George
know that.
Takei emoji.
All right, you're approaching this figure.
Yeah, I'm trying to like make eye contact. Maybe if it has eyes.
You
just, like,
recognize
just have a
them.
face. Oh no! Is it Darlinfish?
It is.
Oh.
And is like non-reactive to you approaching. So you would guess, having interacted with this character before, that they're deep in a neem state, which means that the fungus that lives on its back is in control, and it's incredibly contemplative.
I just want
Okay,
to say
and there's-
from the Cash Joe Orion solo session, no antenna, no problem.
No antenna, no problem. Is it whispering?
Oh, okay, good. I'm okay with that.
And I do know from previous experience, like, there's nothing I can do about this. It just kind of has to process through fungal
You
stage.
could probably make a roll. and
Okay,
help it.
like a persuasion type thing, like a
Ooh, excellent.
watch me blow 2 tubes of
Train
effort again.
master here, Josh,
Blow it, blow it, blow it.
with the bugbear mini.
Perfect.
Crikey.
You probably want to re-roll that.
Floyd Ice doesn't count.
That was like mini golf. It ricocheted all
Oh,
kinds of-
hey, she beaut. Oh, that's a nat 20.
You should have used.
Isn't that what I just rolled?
No, you had an 8.
rolls. These
I
things are
did use 2
nasty.
tubes of effort. This is a 6.
Okay, I think that is gonna
I'm
succeed.
just gonna say
It was an 8.
Yep, that succeeds.
Darlinfish? It's. Do you recognize me?
The figure's head looks up, and there's this kind of weird cloudy state going on with its eyes, and you see as if the fog starts to clear. It goes, Bobert.
Hey.
This is so syncing up well with the music. You're doing a good job. If you were doing
Excellent
it,
work,
I don't
Josh.
even notice. It's so good.
Yes, I'm doing it.
You were so good at this. Excellent.
Bobert.
Hey. Bobert will come in for that hug. It's alright.
Yeah, it's very like kind of pensive and held back. My words are not quite connecting today.
Brooding.
Brooding. Brooding is the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
But it seems really pretty sad. You just kind of.
I heard about Kid Thomas.
69.
It's my fault, Bobert.
No,
I should have been there to protect it.
no, that's not how it works.
You told me before you left to
Yeah.
make sure to protect Kid
I'm
Taurus,
sure.
and I did!
Darlinfish!
and you're seeing like the
Merlin.
eyes get all freaky, and it's shifting into a Bursk state, right? The beast kind of creature
Yeah.
is like taking over.
You saying it's your fault? How about it's my fault? Because I should have been here in the first place. Shouldn't have run off back to the Jade Colossus, see about Astrid.
Why are you even doing that, Bobert?
I don't know. I just do what feels right at the time, and I'm learning that I'm having to deal with the consequences of actions of my past I don't remember even taking.
Sounds like you need to.
It's getting like so like wild and out of control.
Yeah.
It seems like it might hurt you if you're not able to like get it back to some kind of
All right, let's
synthesis
do
state.
another gentle talking. Yeah,
Can I
you
help?
got
Can I help?
something? Yeah,
I want
come
Chris Pratt.
jump
Chris Pratt.
in,
Chris Pratt.
jump
Chris Pratt.
in.
Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Cash in typical form.
All right, are you aiding?
Use your action to help.
I'm trained in deception, so I will.
Whoa, I'm not sure we're deceiving.
I'm gonna. No, I just want to make it. I want to deceive it into feeling like everything's gonna be okay. Everything's fine.
The pink death.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
I'm
like you're in
interpreting
a
it as,
safe
like,
space. Everything is.
Everything's cool, man. It's all right. Don't.
Deception
no
is sometimes the
pink
same
death
as
here.
persuasion.
Ooh, bah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, bah. Full Eskimo.
I don't think you have to
You
roll
rolling or- yeah.
to aid.
Oh, I don't
But
have
she
to roll
gets,
the aid. Okay,
she
cool.
gets. So you're trained.
Yeah, I'm trained in it. I
Then
didn't
she
know
gets 2 assets.
Wow, who would ever think that it would be exciting to get a 12? But compared to a 6, 4, 2, or 1, a 12 is quite tasty.
So nasty.
You're seeing the rage
They're
drain, and it
multi-rolls.
becomes more of an like in a normal state. The two are both kind of in control, and it's this kind of symbiotic, like zen-like state. But when the Bursk is in control, it's like it's all rage, and when the Neem is in control, it like isn't paying attention to anything.
You and I getting all bent out of shape over this isn't going to help us figure out anything. I'd like to know more about what happened while I'm gone.
What are you gonna do about it, Bobber? You gonna go find him?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
You gonna go kill the Pink Death?
We might not kill it. We were kind of talking to it, and actually we thought it might have come this way. We
Talking to it.
We're gonna
They
mount
called
it.
I got this plan. I'm gonna mount it.
It's gonna go over great. I have cash. I have an Ethernet cord on my neck. It's really cool. You want to see it?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god! It's decided he's a high functioning artist. Oh shit. Ship.
Shipping. Container.
This is PG-13.
All right. What are you saying? What are you doing?
Does he have any more information to give us about what else might he know about Katora's disappearance?
They were working. He was fixing up some, like, pretty recently. They were fixing up some pretty nasty wire wreckage that this thing had left when it burrowed this big hole, and that's like since then that wasn't. It started the whole Bodrov started leaning, and Kitaris was like trying to fix that because they were like that was where they had. I'm sorry, my words are not working at all. They had figured out exactly where the breakage was, and so they tracked it down, and he was working on it. And Gnarly and Fesh like took basically a break on the watch, and then when he came back from the watch, like he was like, oh, nobody came to get me at the end of the break, and then he came back and like people had been killed, and there was no sign of Kitaris.
Oh, so this is negligence. God.
We hug this out.
Yeah, but he's pretty wrecked about it.
I mean, that's not. I'm sure he should be.
Yeah, just like permanent arm attached around Gnarly and Fesh.
And it's important that it's Gnarly and Fesh because one organism is Gnarly and the other is Fesh. Yeah.
Okay, this.
I identify.
We're
more
gonna
with
sort
Fesh.
this out. We've got to, because otherwise we might lose Bodrov.
Like
I'm
to
searching the room to see like where this thing has maybe gone next. Start to get
Fesh, baby. Hey, what have you seen, huh? What's going
I had
on
an
here?
11. I wasn't using effort, but
Yeah, you search.
moving down further.
You search around and you find that it actually it didn't really pass him by. It burrowed like more like around here and avoided him.
Wait, is the creature in this room?
No, doesn't seem to be.
Give me
walls
a
around here?
actually, well, Bobert or Cash, both of you guys can give me a
Don't make me gaze
intellect
for
like
these.
biology.
No effort, 19.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
excellent.
Thank you, Gravity Well.
Gravity well. Yeah, you know from the tales of people that have seen the Pink Death and lived that it can turn visible, right? From like a mechanical standpoint, it can turn invisible, and then it needs like time for the invisibility to refresh.
Gotcha.
So it oftentimes like retreats and avoids things if it feels like it was outnumbered, and so it ran and it didn't attack this Nalian Fesh because it was like,
I mean,
my shit's recharging,
Yeah.
I need to get out of here.
Interesting.
I got a great feeling about this.
So that would lead me to conclude. Oh, do I get any cheeky on a 19? Are there some nice things that come with
Mm.
it? Some minor effects?
Minor effect, yeah.
Does it help if I also got a 19?
You were trying to.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah. I was trained by. Well, I mean, you already satisfied it, so.
You also got 19? Is that what you said?
And I'm trained.
Oh, 2 minor effects.
Zesty!
Mm.
Spicy move.
This room is starting to fill up with smoke. Just so y'all know.
Oh, Patsy's
Because you're just invoking.
going hard.
Oh,
Bored as
that's how
hell.
we're gonna see the invisible creatures. That
Oh,
there will be
brilliant,
a
Patsy.
place.
I'm sorry
unoccupied
we're
by
boring
smoke
you.
that has the shape of
I'm kidding.
a
I'm kidding.
tottering.
I was just trying to think of what was we having.
I need to give you guys some good
There's
info.
something to punch. Talking to this thing.
This,
You lead, I'll follow.
I'd say this type of behavior is pretty self-preservationist. And you guys would maybe, from the tales of this thing attacking people before, it oftentimes will get multiple people and drag them away. And so you're kind of putting pieces together between the two of you as you're talking it out. Like he's talking about tales, and you're talking about kind of similar creatures that you have like researched in the data sphere.
You all know of Cthulhu?
And you guys both have the realization at the same time that you're like, it's feeding babies.
eating babies.
It's eating babies.
Wait, feeding babies.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with your plan. Yeah, I like that one better.
Yeah, it's bringing food back to some kind of nest.
Well,
Do you think the eggs will,
That's
when they
like-
hatch, imprint on anybody?
oh god.
Well, there's one way to find out.
I like the cut of your jib.
Now,
Oh my
Fesh,
God.
you want to come with us? If you want, you can go on back, and Lash is waiting there with the ropes. Freezing, Bobert, gosh.
Oh. Come on back whenever you
Does anybody remember the rock guy from the third Thor movie? He just like
Like kind of maybe New Zealand accent.
yeah. Oh my god. That guy needs to be somewhere in here. I don't know if it's Lash or if it should be like
Narlin Fesh goes back to
Okay.
Lash. Yeah,
Lash.
is
Bobert promises that
It's corruption.
they'll see each other again soon.
Also, that's
yeah,
what Lash
they're a
is.
little bit kind of frazzled
Yeah.
and felt like they got overwhelmed by people trying to have sympathy and talk them out of the experience that they were feeling on the inside, and so just totally lost it and ran away. Yeah.
What? Hold on.
Bobert encourages them to be in that experience.
I feel like I've definitely
Deeply.
missed some context.
Passionately.
What's going on?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, never mind.
Nolly and Fesh leaves. And you guys are
Down the tunnel.
tracking this thing
Yeah.
through the holes.
Let's stick together, I guess.
I guess we should follow the melted rock.
Let's split up, gang.
No, not splitting out.
Wrong.
You know what? Never mind. I like your idea better.
Okay, it can't take all of us. Bobert kind of like subconsciously tightens, you know, like whoever's the closest person he's walking to gets like a little bit closer.
All right.
I start to look like a giant hot dog.
This tunnel is still pretty like melty and acidic.
Okay.
So you guys will have to make rolls to kind of find the pieces that are not liquid and melting.
Okay. Speed.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody believe in high rolls.
How
Like, we're not
challenging does this
rolling.
This
rolling low
seems
anymore. I'm not even
demanding,
I'm not
so I'd say
believing the hard
3.
cards.
No, effort.
So you're looking at a 9 on the dice.
The cards.
11.
I'll use an effort.
God damn it.
14.
Oh.
We'll let it in.
I'm going effortless because
I tried that.
team, baby.
I got a 5.
This is
5.
This is speed.
Yeah. And if you're trained in climbing or
How about lies?
I don't think so.
Does geology or writing apply?
All right, so if you a 5 did not succeed, so you'll take 4 might damage from being like burned at various points as you're moving down this. You put your hand in a puddle of this stuff and you're like, ah! Like it's just boiling water, the equivalent of, right?
What did you roll over there, Joe?
You know what it is.
What?
That was my experience last week. You've taken up the mantle. It's this seat. I was in here.
No.
Do you want to switch?
No. All right.
Okay, next time.
The GM intrusion from your now
Oh my
on.
God.
I want out of the penalty box.
Awesome. You slip through and fall in the same way that Cash did earlier.
Damn it.
You're like leading the way
Again.
and do not notice that you're just going one kind of step in front of the next, and then suddenly you're backpedaling against this like steep incline, and you slide down and land with a crash and take 4 might damage.
And then
As you
physically move down another level.
you crash into this open space, and the first thing you notice about it is that there is this immense running machinery.
Oh god.
Oh.
Flashbacks to becoming one
Does she
with the
fall
course.
No, this
Down
is flat.
Yeah.
Wait, was everybody
Like we're
that's in this
all
group
up here in
for
this
the,
tunnel?
the
Mhm.
prologue?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
When you were the Terminator? And I was Mentok? Okay, yeah.
Mentalk?
I'm getting...
I was a
When
cyborg
did you
cowboy.
stop being Mentalk?
When I stopped doing... Mine
Yeah.
taker!
Unless go ahead and
Incidentally, Harvey Birdman coming back this fall. Only on Adult Swim. Please give us free swag, please. I would love a Harvey Birdman shirt. No, I would wear a Harvey Birdman
and
mask
since this is a
every session.
have to be
since this is a GM intrusion, you crash into this room, and there's this machinery that's all running. It's producing an immense amount of warmth, and this is all like high tech. This is prior world technology that's all running right
Oh,
here,
they're
right?
fine.
Producing a ton of warmth, and stacked up on this platform where all the machinery is, standing on top of all the monitors, tucked between all of the tubes, are eggs, translucent and pink, and you see the writhing 3 tentacled forms moving about inside like fetus inside of the womb.
If one hatches, make sure you throw up into its mouth.
Bobert is overcome with a sense of wonder for the miracle of life.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Joe is the only person seeing this right now, correct?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
Vicariously overcome with a sense of wonder.
Never
Well,
mind.
I mean,
I
we
retract
gotta
that
come
statement. I did
after,
not see
right?
that.
Does somebody else have rope?
Yeah, Joe is filled with fear.
I mean, my mind is in knots. No, my stomach is in
And
knots.
cast into an
Anybody
ethical
else has a-
dilemma.
So at this point, before when Cash crashed down, it was like Patsy was surprised. Now it's just kind of like,
This is what we do.
all right, here we go. I guess.
I return the favor by also getting stuck in a tunnel.
Please decide to not do that.
Oh, you guys should give me initiatives.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, that's
There's a 7.
there's a 5.
Check that 8 out.
That's very nice, 8.
We're slowly
Can I
working up
give
to the
effort on
10 mark.
initiative?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not trained with it though. Is that still applying?
Speed, yeah.
Forget it.
It's too late.
Did anyone, well, what did you guys get?
12.
5.
8.
I also had a 12.
Okay, you guys all go after it.
I am gonna get stuck in the hole this time.
Give me a speed defense.
Crikey.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Make sure you approach it slowly.
You've played knife experience before.
That was a good job, mate.
It is a 7.
You feel the lash of tendrils striking you, all as if they're all like all 3 strike like a kind of like that, right? And the point that they strike is right on your chest, and it is like this intense, like the acid. It's like the tendrils strike you for 5 damage. Yes.
Out of might?
Yep.
Oh, God.
And then the acid inflicts 2.
I'm impaired.
Damn.
And this creature appears visually before you.
Yeah, Joe
in
kind
all of its horrifying.
Whimpers at the bottom of the tunnel.
I'd just like to say, if we get one of these as a pet, I'm calling it Archimedes.
This thing's not gonna be our pet, Cash.
Not the mom. The one you can imprint on. If I can get one.
Joe!
Listen, I didn't get the squirrel.
Help!
I'm gonna get
Shit. She's in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Shit. They're in trouble.
ship.
All right, and then you guys go in any order.
Here we go. Holy shirt balls.
Someone got a rope. Damn it.
There's no rope.
Alright.
Bobert jumping down.
I have a really long red scarf that I never really liked.
Yeah, I'm going. This seems like relatively close here, so I want to make this like a jumping leap
Yes.
situation from this. And I wanna do the chop ability, which
chop.
is +3 to damage, -1 to hit. So
-1 on the die or 1 difficulty.
1 difficulty.
Okay. Cool.
To hit, but more damage.
Yeah. So do I probably need to do a jump type check
Yeah.
first?
Yeah. Give me a. This will be like a.
I'll use effort.
Yeah.
I rolled an 8.
Yep. That succeeds.
Okay.
Very nice.
So I jump far enough, drawing my broadsword over my head and swinging downward. I'm gonna use. So I'm using chop. I'll use 2 effort on this attack. Just go for it. Okay, I got a 9. And I'm trained. Well, the trained cancels out the chop. So yeah, a 9 with 2 tiers of effort. Use twice.
It's so noisy for like.
Yep, that hits.
Trying to be quiet.
Cool.
We're in its
You're also
nest.
trained in this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that's canceled out by the chop. is what
Oh,
I was
okay,
saying.
gotcha. Sorry. Okay. And how much
Are we
damage
truly
then?
in its nest though? I don't even know if it's on the same.
7 damage because it's +3.
All right. You leap down. Battle cry.
Oh my! I
Broadsword
to see
slashing
this
into
whole
its-
thing over here, and I'm
its
just like,
flesh.
oh my god!
Kind of a weird. What color blood do you guys think it has?
Purple.
It's in a color spectrum that we can't see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks clear
Ultraviolet.
to us.
Yeah, it's like
Vantra, maybe?
coconut oil or something. Look,
Yes,
right?
coconut oil.
And it-
Perfect.
The
Gross.
milky white, like the android and alien.
It
Gross.
splashes on the ground, and as it spreads, the ground seems to have this strange kind of weird blurry effect that this creature does. That you're like, it's hard to even focus on it, right? And so the ground starts to gain.
Here goes my
just-
chance
just
of
fluff.
mounting it.
No. It's much easier to tame a creature when you've maimed it.
Oh, you know,
Everyone knows that.
Pokemon. God, I didn't think about that.
classic maim and tame.
You gotta beat it up before you throw Pokeball at it.
The old name and
The old Maven Tang.
Oh, man, team. All right, who's going next?
Yeah, I was ready to jump down, so
All right.
let's do it. I will not expend effort to do that. I'll just fall down gracelessly on a 9.
Yeah, you get it.
Perfect. Now that I'm here, I'm kind of like, damn it, what was that thing that Cash was doing to calm it down? I don't remember.
I don't know how well that will work now.
I mean, I guess I might try to persuade it since it talked to us. I might try to talk to it. Obviously, I can't say we're not going to hurt you because that would
Instead of
just
like
hurt
you
you.
exerting that force. I'm sure it came from.
Well, okay.
Here's
way down from the salt.
Natural 20.
Net 20, baby!
Where you been?
I like how you show
Why do
me
you come
on
to
how
me
it's
now?
done.
We just want to talk.
You leap down and say that
Yeah.
with a nat 20.
Nat 20, baby!
Excellent. We just want to talk, you say?
Yeah.
Goodness, come on.
After we slice the shit out of you.
Maybe tame.
Maybe tame, baby. Maybe tame, baby.
Tame.
Good cop, bad cop.
Murder count.
You want to talk? You stand in the tottering village. What matters if it falls? Your world is doomed.
Why does every extra dimensional being know this?
Because we're all
You are the fools to try and keep it standing. I am just making children. Maybe one will see the dawn of the next era.
I was practicing this in the car in case you were wondering. Talking like a weird monster.
callbacks, baby. You planned on it talking?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought you were
Man,
just
I
like,
feel
making
like
this shit up on the
it
spot.
talking
He
to me
knows
at
too
all
many of us
is
are
a
in the
major
heroes
effect.
guild.
Yeah, I'll empathize with
man.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I got my major effects by understanding a cohesive sentence, multiple cohesive sentences. Well,
All right, but I'm doing a
yeah.
GM intrusion.
What is that?
You get an XP.
If
Yeah, you. Okay.
Bobert decides to take
intrude
it.
array.
A hole opens behind you.
What kind of hole?
We've not been dealing with one creature.
Much like the hole that you have been tracking through.
Oh my god!
Do you want to pay to retract this?
No.
All right, then you get an XP and you can give one to your friend.
Come on in.
And a second
play.
emerges and lashes tendrils at you.
Oh boy.
Oops, sorry.
More than one pink dab.
If these are hetero, or cisgender?
And this one that emerges from
This one
from this hole that
This is probably
erupts in the wall, you're seeing
the Nidoqueen
fresh wounds
and then
on
the
it.
King is showing up.
So this is not the one that you spoke to earlier. The one that burst through the wall is. if that makes sense.
Yes.
I smell what you're
This one
stepping
was
in.
already here. The one we saw earlier.
Yep. That's the Nido Queen. We talking to the Nido King
Am I
now.
supposed to
They
be...
seem eerily identical.
Is this a speed defense?
There's no distinguishing marks between them, but excellent.
I'll use effort.
Perfect. Managed to cram everything into the tiniest of corners here.
Sorry.
In this huge room.
This is like the most impressive setup yet.
Why don't we just move this back a little bit?
That's a 9 with 2 tiers of effort for the speed defense.
9, 2 tiers.
Am I able to like declare intention of like helping to
And
pronounce?
I will... Sweet.
So close.
I'll give the XP. I'll give one.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It doesn't. It
Okay.
doesn't succeed.
Is that how much
'Cause
might damage? Is
I
that?
totally forgot that this thing's invisible when it emerges. So the hole opens and you look back and are like, what? And then it's like, whap, and strikes you right in the face. Not in the face! With these tendrils, you take 5 damage from the 3 tendrils striking at once, and then another 2 from the acid. And then this form materializes in the air in front of you. It came in and was invisible, and then when they strike, similar to greater invisibility in D&D.
This is also Numenera, so now you're scarred. Like with their knuckle slap.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to do that. But other people can go.
Oh, I wasn't ready yet.
Sorry. Sorry, guys. Clunkiness here. Don't mind our clunkiness. Who's going?
What did you get?
I don't remember.
We all go.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to go can go.
Yeah.
So who else is up here? Patsy and Cash.
Yep.
I'm jumping in.
And also,
I'm gonna try to address the
Joe
other
still
one.
has their turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
because
They've already done
they
that.
just fell through.
Would they have been able
Gotcha.
to hear the response up there? Okay, so you've heard this conversation.
Cash incoming?
Yeah.
Is that
Incoming!
what are we jumping test?
Yeah, it was just a 6 on the dice. And if you're trained in climbing or jumping, then it would ease it.
Writing. Geology.
Geology, I'll give geology, sure. Seems reasonable.
Trained in
So do I need to roll that first to get down?
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
I did it
You're
with
good.
grace and style.
Yep.
Yeah. Good first impressions. As
You found the particularly smooth, like, track of stone. 'Cause you're like, oh, this is limestone.
Oh yes, Oh, this is an interesting particulate of silicone.
All right, what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna come down and try to help placate. But this time I'm gonna talk to the guy that I attempted to establish rapport with earlier.
Okay.
Evidently, I had him wrong. It was not Eloise. It was Edward. Clearly.
Yeah, okay, so what did we learn?
Unless
from,
these are seahorses, in which case the male was the one that was tending to the eggs, and the female was the one.
It's not clear.
Which
Go ahead
one
and
is
roll
larger? Whichever one is larger is clear.
They look like identical. But give me a roll.
Okay, whatever. I don't know yet. I didn't.
Clearly is not a good word to use here.
They're from a different
Don't make
dimension,
me-
so gender maybe
Do not
they're
make me
both.
speak to the
reproducing.
data sphere that knows most things. It has approximate knowledge of many things. Okay, I got 13, and I'm using effort, by the way.
How much?
All of it.
1 tier, 2 tier?
I only have 1 tier, I guess. No, wait, no, I have 2 tier. Yes, 2 tier.
So that one costs 5 from whatever pool.
A intellect.
All right, you succeed.
Of course.
But you can ease it, like, you have 1 edge. So
Wait, okay. Okay, 4. Got it.
And you're doing your Chris Pratt thing where you're calming it.
I'm like, hey, you remember me, buddy? I got it wrong earlier. Was it Edward? Edward, that's what it was. Or was it? I think that's right. I might have gotten the emphasis on the wrong syllable. But understand, yeah, I get it, dude. You were like just trying to do your own thing. You're trying to like take care of your kids, but really causing a problem here on like the cables and like living up above. And it'd be nice if one could let us pass through safely. We're gonna be in and out, you know. In and out. 2, we're not here to harm you. We're just trying to pass through. We're also wanting you to maybe stop killing people. We could bring you stuff. Space cows, space squirrels, something to help you, like, raise your young, because we get it. You're an independent species, you got your own thing going on, clearly intelligent to some degree. We can help you out. We could come to some agreement. You could even help maybe, help us protect, like, the tunnels and going on. You could be like the guardians, and we could bring you sacrifices. We could make this work. But you gotta sit down. You gotta come to the table here and sit down and do some sort of agreement.
Cash earned, but I could use less cash.
So, that's it. Can I ride you?
Oh my god! Crack greater than Pratt!
Name and tame.
Aww.
Alright, that's
Yes. Did anyone watch the Boomerfoo?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a shout out to the Crab
Yes, and I
Brothers.
did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
for that.
An adventure with the
Amazing.
coolest creatures, from the ocean to the sea. From these are growing places you never get to see.
Wait. The Crack
any
Brothers?
Krat
Crack, excuse me.
from Zaboomafoo and what's the other show called?
So, okay,
Only Solar.
can we pause this? I have not seen Wild Kratts 2. Zaboomafoo was being transitioned in when I was actually getting out of the age group for the Krat Brothers, which is the previous show where they were on live television.
All right.
And I remember them. Amazing.
Yeah, good news.
Move on.
Rate it in.
Moving on. That's just
You're
a weird thing.
passing through. Then be gone and pass.
Can I still mount you?
No, why? Okay.
Alright.
Leave us in peace. We will not eat you.
Is that just us or is that everybody?
It's just us. You can tell it's just us.
I was offering, like, actual meat in exchange for something that's non-sentient that we don't care about. You know what I mean?
Space cows.
Space cows. Whatever the equivalent is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
I was offering that as, like, we could set up an agreement. We could bring you some meat, something that would be of your liking in exchange for maybe leaving the people that we care about, I guess.
We're just trying to make babies too. Can't we both work this out? Why do you get a ride but we don't get to?
It always goes back to sex, doesn't it?
I was just trying to.
Lashes around.
It is
sex and death. Sex and
It is definitely like coming around, but it'll take more successes to convince it to that level. Yeah, it's like neither of them are attacking you guys, and they're just studying you, and there's just this eerie
Come
weird
on,
blur
Silver
going
Tongue
on.
Patsy Styles. Patsy does not believe in this cause. Patsy wants to come sock a pink death.
Patsy's.
Oh, also, this machine is the fabled gyroscopic device
I have that pulled up.
that keeps Bodrov aligned.
Wow, what did they?
That has never been found by you guys. You just have known that the wiring that you fixed led to this thing that was mysteriously somewhere. And by miracle of plot, you made it
Do you
there.
think it's like mechanical like this,
Yeah.
or is it like electric? Like buzzy?
Yes.
I think Buzzy.
You know what would be funny?
Got it.
Is if we hadn't dissolved all of the critical machinery and we fucking toppled the whole damn city and we never found your apartment. No, we did. In the rubble.
No.
In the river surrounding Bodrov.
Thumbs down now.
But via veto.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah, get in there.
Pratt, House of Helga, baby.
So
House of Helga.
I'm going to.
You're the coolest mom ever.
Well, first I gotta make it down here successfully.
God, I'm like jealous.
Do we know the defense, or have you not told
It's a
us?
6, yeah.
You're
On the
looking for an
dice.
extra
I
son.
got a 10.
Yeah,
So
always.
I slide down at this point, like just like. Throw a half-lit cigar on the ground. Pull another one out.
Don't litter.
Snip it and light it.
While jumping.
Yep.
And I confront the beasts
All
in
right.
a verbal manner.
In a verbal manner. Give me a roll and tell me what you're saying.
I don't need to see this happening.
You know, funny thing about us humans, we
don't give up very easily.
It's true.
And now that we know where you're at, it might be to your advantage to listen to these two bumbling idiots and make a deal. This is a persuasion. I'm going to use effort, and I'm trained. I think, yeah, I'll use 2. I got a nat 20.
Nat 20. Excellent.
Nope.
Since me.
They both stare at you and you're lit.
I'm not looking at them, by the way. I'm looking up at the ceiling.
Oh, casual.
Patsy Cash. They're just glancing between all the different people who've been speaking to them.
I assume. Oh, excuse me. Everything went well.
Oh, not 20
Nat
well.
20.
Okay. What? Were you smacking it, or were you like talking to it?
Both, kind of.
He was basically like, you need to listen to what they're saying.
I was reinforcing the things that you were requesting.
Okay, good. That does not sound in character at all, but cool.
Things
I had
have
a big week last week. I had a big week last week.
Yeah, it
You
was a
were
crash.
called a bumbling idiot in the process
Yeah,
of this persuasion.
I also I was called a bumbling idiot. Okay, that sounds
You
in character.
and Bobert.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey,
You feed us.
I'm giving 2 of my Patsy points back for calling Robert an idiot. You can have them, but I'm gonna keep the rest. I feel like I.
You keep us
tried really
fed.
yes! Whatever you need.
Why?
Because we all just gotta get along.
Pragmatism.
There's things worse than you and things worse than us.
And when your end comes and the city topples, what will this deal matter?
Won't you be harmed as a result of the city toppling? What about your eggs, dude? Aren't your eggs gonna like crack as a result of the city toppling?
They will hatch.
Before
And be gone.
it happens. How do you know that?
It is known.
Are you trained in engineering?
All right, fine. Then a deal's a deal. We feed you until your youngs hatch.
As long as we are fed, we will not eat flesh of man.
Where do you want us to bring the food?
They described some.
Okay, excellent.
They described this room.
Which Bobert is very familiar with at this point. He knows
Yeah.
the tunnels.
You got it.
Leave us then.
Oh.
Might be check out
What's Joe thinking?
Joe is extra dimensionally tempted to investigate stuff.
This machine that has never been found before.
Is it because it's weird?
It is not extra dimensional.
I want to examine the creatures. Wait, talk to them or something.
Okay.
Mount it.
But I also don't want to. With my rolls this evening, I'm not sure I can risk.
No, you've had so many bad rolls. This one's bound to be good.
See,
Law
you
of
say
averages.
that.
Where's
Law
the
of
card?
averages.
Give us the card.
Here, use this one.
Where's the first card?
It's been.
It's laws.
It's lies.
We'll make another one.
Yeah, give me a roll, and you can
Sorry,
add
that was
your like
definitely
you have
Betsy, not
a
Daniel.
dimensional. Are you trained in some kind of
Trained in
dimensional?
Is it like a
Dimensional
Vivir
word.
card?
Yeah, you can
It's
add
definitely
that
not.
I
Daniel.
will
or factor that in.
use.
I didn't even hear.
You know what?
Make another one.
Maybe I'll just glimpse into the outside.
Oh, trust. Got it. Trust.
Yeah, I guess I want to see what happens if we feed the creatures.
If you kill them,
If we feed them.
if you feed them. Okay. Trust. I don't know how visible that is. It says trust, guys.
backwards.
Tourist.
Go ahead.
Dessert.
Tourist.
All right, give me a roll.
It's delicious.
Sir.
Fred
Intellect,
Durst.
if you want to use effort or whatever. 8.
Better than one.
All right. What is your what do you look like when you peer into the
I space out.
beyond?
And I knock that off again for like
Minus
the
1.
8th time tonight.
And-
That's probably what the dice are representing cumulatively all my terrain minuses that I've recorded.
That's how we've done it in the past.
Yeah,
you incur a
-1.
-1 for every piece of terrain that you knock over.
Yeah, I owed big time.
Jophiel is overwhelmed by the swarming shadows of all the
curses shadow
different
more than
possibilities. Each is in a different color of like different threads of time and the way that things happen that are all just fleeting past you, all around you, and you wander in this strange ethereal space, and you witness in a fast-forward fashion the occurrences of what this path brings. You find this path and track it down through the different parallel threads of time. And
I feel like I smoked pot. That is really cool. Holy shit! Is that a thing that like you have as a character? Or is this all flavor?
The tier 2 step into the outside is glimpse the outside. It's basically, do you Steven Universe?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like future vision.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're like Garnet?
Garnet, yeah.
I can view various streams of time, and mechanically I get an asset on like roles related to the task or item or object or person I glimpse.
Similar to your
Do you,
data strip.
do you sing as well? 'Cause that's-
Joe might sing.
Maybe so.
I'm actually like compelling you at one point. No, you've got to.
What you witness is a time when beasts of burden, pack beasts and cattle or equivalent are thrown into this, and they're eaten, and then you get this sense of kind of a balancing act that the people of Bodrov are having to deal with these creatures of like how much is enough to actually feed them. So for a time they're throwing just like one cow into this thing, and then they slurp it up, and then the creatures are mad that they're not being fed more, so then they come out and they attack someone and they eat someone, and then they're like, okay, we'll throw 2 cows in, and you follow this path down long enough that after a few months they figure it out and they get to some kind of balancing.
7 cows.
7 cows.
7.5 cows.
Yeah.
Chop on.
Orion's got this shit down. He's seen a lot. He knows how it goes.
Ryan knows a cow situation when he sees one.
It's the anine, though. It's not cows.
Yeah, it's anine. Roasted anine patties.
Lovely.
Got that anine sheen.
Good thing we have the Gaians here to help us. They
Maybe
can start our
maybe.
herd.
Yeah. Get you some blood barms and start harvesting blood barms,
Oh, they make the best dressing.
and then you slip back.
Okay, cool.
Also, since you're into this dimensional stuff, just give me a knowledge, kind of an intellect trained with the dimensional stuff.
I'll use 2 tiers of effort because I really want to be relevant this
Yes.
episode.
Do you want a different dice?
No, I love this dice and I got a nat 1.
This is a Bobert episode. I'm sorry, guys.
God, the 4th one!
You got a 1?
Yeah.
Don't you have XP though?
I don't.
No,
You don't have
we
any
spent them at the beginning.
Sorry.
Here, just try rolling this. It's for fun.
Oh, that's so tragic.
Wow, the bad rolls passed off from Patsy to Joe here.
I broke the bars. 14. Yeah, it's apparently it just gets passed on.
That's
4 ones?
That's statistically improbable.
well, dang! I wanted to give you good information.
I'm sorry.
Let me speak to the data spirit.
Let me just pass
Yeah,
out
do that.
now.
Can someone else
And if that doesn't work,
spend an XP on someone's behalf?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And you get a hero point for it for being good of heart.
Redeemable on Wednesday
Yeah,
and Friday.
trouble.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent! Yes!
All right. Give me a reroll then,
Okay.
and you keep your 2 tiers of effort that
No,
you.
I don't want to. I have to work it out with
roll
this
1.
dice. It's like a 5 or some shit. It's a 5.
Okay. But you use 2 tiers of effort, and you're trained in this, so it's shifted 3
It's that
steps.
chair, dude.
Okay, so 2 twos of effort is 5.
All right, so as you're looking at these things, you're getting kind of a sense that they're ancient.
Okay.
But ancient in kind of a way that hibernating creatures can be ancient because they go into some form of stasis for a time, right?
So the machines are in hibernation mode?
Not the machines.
No, the Pink Death.
Oh, Pink Death. Okay.
Mhm.
Wait. They are entering in it, or they've already been in it?
They can enter stasis, like that is basically outside of time. They hibernate, like outside of time, and then when they wake up, they re-enter it. But like, or outside of our dimension, perhaps. It's not very clear, but it's outside of what we know.
painful for
And
my
then when they
brain.
wake up, they come back into our reality,
Okay.
right?
I was like, they're-
and maybe centuries have passed, so they potentially could remember prior civilizations, but they're predators and they're not really keen on sharing information or anything because they're predators and kind of monstrous, right?
Wow.
I'm out again.
And they definitely are not from here,
not safe.
right? They're from a different dimension
Cash needs no saving.
originally.
Wow.
Perhaps they remember that, perhaps they don't.
Reroll like this.
Can I ask them something?
Yep.
Can I do something while she's asking something?
Yeah.
Can I walk to the other side of that machine
Yeah.
and just
I
lean
thought
against
so.
it?
I thought so.
Oh.
I thought so.
What?
Are you gonna drain power from it?
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, no one else knows I'm doing. I'm just smoking my cigar and ignoring the rest of the group right now.
As always.
And ignoring the fate of the entire city. Love it.
Why are we going for the...
You're gonna siphon power from the machinery, or?
I am sure it's got
Oh,
power
yeah.
to spare. He's like, oh.
There are like 4 other machines in this one.
Yeah, but this is the big one.
This is the big one.
It's gonna have the big XP.
Do you roll for this? Is it no?
I just spend 2 intellect points. And then I get what I want.
Dang. Up to its like level or
level.
something. You feel like yeah.
To
you
spread
at least
amongst
ask for
my speed
consent
and
first?
my.
I'm just gonna
be able
say
to drain the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
it takes me minutes to do it anyway, so it's like
I'll say you get 3 points that you've drained from it before like the whole landscape around you guys starts to kind of and shift, and like stones are rolling across the ground and whatnot with everybody. Maybe they don't like totally notice you, but they all glance back at this thing and they're seeing the like weird machinery kind of bowing and like moving kind of weird, and you're like,
all right. So I stand up. That was weird.
somebody could make an intellect and see if they notice that he was doing that, like a perception.
Does anyone else feel like that someone did a self-serving act?
Like they weren't being
That's
trustful.
true. Joe is the only person who.
Patsy knows about, or yeah, Joe knows about this.
True.
That's right. Even Orion doesn't know.
So what am I rolling? I just rolled
Wait, Joe knows
a
about.
2.
What? What?
Hi.
Yeah, you don't notice it.
Yeah, cool. Because I'm busy asking.
Yeah,
my
you're asking this
question.
thing. Yeah.
All right, you go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was
No,
just
that's
doing
good.
One of them is not paying attention to you. It moves over by the eggs and like regurgitates a bunch of goo. And there's one egg that has like the thing has recently clambered out of it, and so it is like swimming around in this goo and slurping it up.
Wait, there's a newborn? Mm-hmm. Cash immediately purchased this newborn.
No,
Oh no.
help.
You! I am your mother!
Okay.
Obey me!
Okay, we're at the end time of the stream, so if you want to wrap anything up, I want to leave us on like a hook and
Yeah.
fast forward a
So
little
I
bit.
just-
Want to finish
I
your
want to
question?
ask
Yeah.
them, should I roll something? I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, be like a persuasion
Okay.
intellect.
Okay. This is gonna be anti-collect.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's a 7.
This is good.
What are you asking at?
What's your favorite color?
Is it going to be different than before? The end of this era?
Different than before what?
Than before, when civilizations have fallen. I keep hearing from otherworldly people that it's going to end.
It is different every time, but it is also the same. It can't be stopped, though.
Can't?
It can be stopped. But seldom are there those who wish so hard to do so that they would risk everything.
Alright, yeah, I'm good.
Passion dance, passion dance, passion dance.
All right, so fast forward. You guys inform Lash and the crew
Yeah, and I say,
of what's going
give
on.
them
Hey,
more
shit's
cows
going
than
down.
you can
Bye.
feed.
Yeah, I feel like
them.
Orion's just casually like 7 cows.
7 cows. Yeah.
We walk
This is
back
the
and
magic
first thing
number.
Orion says is 7 cows.
Of which no one pays attention to.
And that is set into motion in future sense. And you guys journey up to the top side of Bodrov, which the super short gist of Bodrov is that it is a city that I don't remember the exact numbers, but it should be like 10,000 people should live there, but only 1,000 people live there, and it's totally mostly empty. It is super highly defensible. It's this city on this crazy thing that no one can get inside, but because of that, merchants don't come here because it's hard to get in and out. Food isn't traded here very well, and at one point,
How are we gonna feed these creatures?
yeah, yep. At
Free
one
real
point,
estate, man.
At one point, a very wealthy suitor built a massive palace as kind of a betrothal gift to Queen Armalu, the Queen of Navarine, the region that you guys are in. She didn't marry him, and she's immortal, and he's not. He died, and so this place is now just empty, but he left all of his inheritance to keep it running, so there's this giant palace that no one lives in and servants take care of. It's a weird kind of ghost town. Is the gist of the place, right?
Can we back up? Wait, someone's immortal?
She's like the queen of this region, and she's lived for a couple hundred years.
I don't care about the queen. Immortal. What?
I mean, there's shit coming from other dimensions and everything. Yeah.
How long? I wanted to say like how immortal, but how long has she been living around?
I think like 200 years.
As far as we know.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right, so you guys go to Bobert's home, right?
We're all gonna crash
Depicted
on his-
here.
Depicted here. Excellent.
Oh, hey, it's his futon.
Dressed it up specifically with Bobert in mind.
You go to open the door, and you notice that it's unlocked.
Bobert knew it. He's not surprised.
You open the door, and in your favorite chair, in which you love to read books, swivels around, and a very handsome figure dressed in full plate armor stands and says, "Well, at last you've returned.
Another
Bobert.
lover.
I
Bodrov
hope
is
you
full
have
of-
a way of explaining yourself." And we'll leave it at that.
Oh,
I like to think Bobert's like the town bicycle.
Damn.
We'll find out what's up with that, with Bobert's mysterious
alums.
past among the dragon riding knights.
Oh my god. Other
He's wearing the same kind of regalia that you saw on your Echo, and looks not so pleased with you.
Bobert is just always in trouble these
Everybody's
days.
always in trouble. That's what makes the good story.
This is like Numenera, the Bobert story.
It was a Bobert episode. Sorry.
It's beautiful.
no, don't be
We
sorry.
needed one of those.
Everyone, check us out on Sunday.
Yay!
I thought you were gonna say 2 XP.
2 XP, you got 2 XP.
Aw.
Everyone gets 2 XP.
Thank
Actually, you
you.
get 4 XP
4? Yes.
for negotiating this incredible peace treaty among the Elnoica.
Heck yeah.
the
You are a
pink
generous
death.
god.
What I would like to dedicate that to the
Elnoica.
Children of the Heroes Guild.
Yes.
Because I always this is what I would want them to do, and I need to be worthy of their efforts to
It was beautiful.
use that empathy.
It was beautiful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ash, for taking the spearhead of that effort.
Yeah.
You've been
Quick.
dating Sam.
If you're intrigued by the Heroes Guild, you should scroll down a little bit and check out the links. It's a local organization that Josh is the guild master of and had founded out of the incredible depth of his heart in order to teach young chillins the joy of tabletop role-playing games. But it has evolved since then into its own role-playing game that teaches positive heroic morality, and it's excellent. So check that out. Also catch us at the same time, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday for some Chronicles of Lost Earth, which will be some high fantasy 70s retro futurist crazy version of Numenera with some Mantis Men, Mystic Warriors, and Alien Psionicists. It is going to be great. We're running it in collaboration with their Kickstarter, which you should check out, Chronicles of Future Earth. And we're running their Kickstarter adventure, which is called Swallower of Souls. It is going to be epic,
Just
y'all.
right up Keith's alley.
It is
That
gonna,
is my fetish.
Yep.
Oh,
A soul swallower.
They're not mind flayers.
They're not mind flayers,
They don't
though.
swallow your brains. They
Yeah.
swallow your
Be there or be rhombus.
Give us a follow. Thanks for checking us out, guys.
Bye, y'all.
It has been a joy, and we will be back.
gonna be rating.
And join the notification squad.
We will be back next week at the same time. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye, y'all. Ting, 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 ting.